Hello, this is J.N.S. Happy Saturday. And so we have another cool topic that I want to discuss. And we're going to be talking about kinetic energy and the difference between kinetic energy and money and how that backs up in the esoteric world, how that translates rather. And so it's a very heavy topic, I do have to say. This is not for the faint at heart. And so let's start. I just wanted to make sure my sound was good. But there's major differences between kinetic energy and money, and most humans are confused on the two, and that's by design. And so what we want to discuss over their own kinetic energy, value their system over their own kinetic energy, and they trick you out of your star, or there's a system in place in which they, through a series, to not actually know who you are or see the value in yourself. And that's done through deceptive means so that you can be easier to control, to be quite frank. And so kinetic energy is pretty much your thermal heat marker. And so kinetic energy is heat, and you carry yourself in your own electromagnetic field that also radiates a certain heat, a certain frequency. And so thermal energy, it can be measured through temperature, and that is what kinetic energy is. So it is your own heat, your hot sauce, your plasma, your hot sauce. And so if we wanted to like simplify that, we could say that that's a combination of your breath, your life force in your blood, or your prana and your chi. But it gets a little bit deeper than that because you have your electromagnetic field. That is your aura. And now let's explain what magnetism is. Electromagnetism is the electricity that you generate and how it creates a static that magnetizes based on a resonance, based on a frequency, based on your wavelength. So electromagnetism can be measured by waves, as you know. There's different forms of wavelengths, but the simple terms, you just know that you radiate electricity and that it surrounds a field and it's charged with a certain amount of kinetic energy. That's your life force, your breath, and your blood, your connection to yourself within, your connection to the pole of creation, your level of awareness of that, your stars, because you have the quantitative aspect or the more the mechanic aspect of these topic, the topic of kinetic energy itself, but then you have the qualitative aspect. So the qualitative is more so of the emotional state, the characteristics. And so if we want to talk about kinetic energy in the qualitative state, that would be the awareness of your star inertia, your star to the creator, the source of creation, the pole of creation. And so kinetic energy is your star energy, your heat, your prana. You are a star. And so obviously stars have heat. Kinetic energy is heat, in simple terms. And so your life is based on this thermal marker that has a frequency. And the way that you transfer energy, the way you transfer kinetic energy is usually from a hotter source. I'm sorry, from a hot source to a cooler source, but not the other way around. So the process is not supposed to be reversible. This is what they teach you in a law of thermodynamics on planet Earth, that kinetic energy can only go from uh, hotter to the transfer of electrons can go from a hotter heat source to a cooler source, but it can't transfer. It can't be reversed. It can be reversed. We won't get into that because that's way too off topic. I mean, it's not off topic, but it's just not where we need to go for now. And so any human can transfer their kinetic energy. You can transfer your kinetic energy by currency, through what you pay attention to what you let someone borrow, through sex, obviously, sex magic. You can transfer your kinetic energy through psychotronics, which is this thought signals, because all thoughts are like radio signals. So you can do that through psychotronics, through what you're thinking, how you pay attention to that person. All of those ways are ways you can transfer kinetic energy. You can do it through even more sinister means. Obviously, you can force someone to agree to give you a certain amount of kinetic energy through a certain amount of time. That would be like, say, when people sign contracts or something, or a statement of work. So kinetic energy is also a form of your mechanical work, the actual work you do with your body, where you're, so that's your energy and your force. And obviously, if you say you're working a 9 to 5, you're giving up your kinetic energy from 9 to 5 to in exchange for that payment. Your prana, your life force, your work, the mechanical work that you do while you're working, that's, you're giving away your kinetic energy. That's you're doing mechanical work on someone else's system, and they are exchanging it in pay. Some of you are underpaid, some of you feel you're overpaid, but that's the exchange of kinetic energy. Okay, so we're talking about your electromagnetism, your resonance, your breath, life force, blood, energy, your awareness. People trade and barter with their kinetic energy. Okay. And the simple concept of that is you go to work every day, you go to school every day, or you agree to do a certain amount of projects for under a contract for a certain amount of time. That's also someone, you know, exchanging kinetic energy. And so most people, they exchange their kinetic energy for money. That system is set up. It's a trick or treat system in terms of the law of optics. Because if you lack awareness to know how this system works, then you most likely are going to get tricked in the law of optics. I mean, when we talk about law of optics, we're talking about the illusion, the world of the illusion. So in the world of the illusion, they have the system set up where you work for your money. You exchange your kinetic energy for money. And the whole system is geared to grooming humans to give up their kinetic energy and to value money, to value, you know, anything that's material, fiat currency. And so money represents the symbolic, dense representation of kinetic. Money represents the dense representation of kinetic energy. And so it's like this, the concept of as above, so below. You have you yourself as the star that has a certain amount of inertia, kinetic energy yourself. And then you have a system where the money represents that 2D version of the kinetic energy. And so what they do with humans is convince them to swipe one another. They tell you that it's equal. Okay, this is what your time is worth. We'll pay you $20 an hour. We'll pay you $50 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever it is based on the job. Or this is what you'll get paid up front for your contract if you sign a 360 deal, or if you get ripped off and end up having to owe the label. Maybe you may not make no money at all sometimes with these contracts. And you're trading kinetic energy still for fiat currency. And people, they put a premium on the money. And in the illusion, many people feel like the money is what gives them the power. In the matrix system, under a closed system, which is what your laws of thermodynamics are based on, the money is what equates to power in this dimension. That's not the way the universe views it, just so you guys know. That's not even the way planet Earth views. And you see that through Mother Nature and them hurricanes fucking y'all up. Y'all see that just from them hurricanes whipping y'all asses, and it ain't nothing nobody can do, and money ain't saving nobody from no hurricane, no earthquake, no nothing. And so we all pretty much understand that. But it's interesting. Let me make sure that my sound is good, because we are going pretty deep. But it's interesting. But it's interesting that unfortunately most humans don't see the trick or treat of the game, the law of optics, and what true power is in terms of being able to wield the power of your mind, the power of your prana. And so there was a brilliant quote by Dame Dash that says, he said, having money without freedom is broke. And so in this system, to have lots of money, you can either do that obviously through creating your own opportunities. I'm not talking about the inventor who gets lucky, or the stock trader who gets upon some money, or even someone that, find their way through their own merits and their own talents and gifts, finds a way to accumulate fiat currency. I'm not talking about this type of situation. The way it's set up in certain positions of power, whether that be politics, the music industry, powerful positions in, say, academia, powerful positions in the medical industry. There's a certain set of rites of rituals and rites of passages, or even initiations that you have to go through to accumulate certain levels of powerful positions. That usually translates into a lot of fiat currency. It's an exchange for something, though. You're exchanging your kinetic energy for whatever's on the dotted line, whatever you sign to. And so having money without freedom is broke, according to Dame Dash. And so what he means is that, you can have all this money, but if you don't control it, or if you're under a contract where you can't say shit, do shit, you're broke. And so we see the situation, with, many in Hollywood, where they don't own their voice. They can't say what they want or do what they want. They, in exchange for their kinetic energy, in exchange for selling of their influence, which is also an aspect of kinetic energy, and they give them a contract or some money, and they're not allowed to speak on certain things or even do certain things with that money. And so we see the situation, like, say, with P. Diddy, who was willing to give $50 million to be released, $50 million to be released from jail on bond, or bail, rather. Whatever, I don't know which one the term is most appropriate, but they denied it. He's still in the cage. And so they know that money merely mimics kinetic energy in the illusory matrix. The powers that be, or the powers that were, however you want to look at it, they know that they sucker tucker humans out of deals, out of their kinetic energy in exchange for a fiat currency. You're not supposed to know this. And you see how fast they can take that money away. And so P. Diddy offered $50 million to be released from jail, and they said no, because they ran out of kinetic energy for their use. And so they know that money that they gave him is kind of, it doesn't mean anything to them. We're talking about, we're dealing with people who are clearly aware that there's something on that contract that either didn't get honored, or something, there's angry spirits behind on that contract that, you piss off the wrong people, whatever. But it's even deeper than that. I know everybody is hung up on that Diageo stuff, but that is even nothing compared to what we're talking about. And so they want kinetic energy. And so him offering them that 50 million is nothing in their eyes, because the real prize, and it has always been the real prize, is your own kinetic energy, or your soul. For those that want to, bring it simple, your soul. Okay. And they know they can't squeeze blood out of the turnip in that industry anymore. So, like, the way they would, in the industry, the way they would transfer kinetic energy is usually through a blood sacrifice. And so they're having harder times getting those rituals to work, because the homunculus deities that were over those contracts, or that were over that system, they can no longer honor the swiping of those electrons properly. They're not allowed to, because they have higher orders that they have to answer to. And so even when you talk about, like, okay, they say you make a pact or conjure up a fallen angel, and you do a contract with them, and then somebody got to die in order for you to move up or whatever, that system does not work anymore. It was always in a abhorrent system. It was always based on botched occult teachings, but you can't. It's pretty much stealing energy and borrowing energy, but you're creating a deficit, and it has to ultimately be paid back. And so that's how that industry works, and that's how the whole system was built up: stolen energy, stolen valor, illegitimate bloodlines, illegitimate power. The whole thing is just it's a farce. But then, say, unbeknownst to maybe humans who may not know this science, or they're the gatekeepers of this science to teach them, they go through a series of, to be honest, MK Ultra, rituals, through sex magic, through it could be LSD, through various drugs, introduction to various occult practices. And they pretty much go through a series of brainwashing. They have to get initiated maybe into a secret society and whatnot. And they pretty much are, they become part of a hive mind that feeds the beast. And it's, you take to the Baphomet or whatever. And again, the teachings that of this society that is offering this type of knowledge, it is botched. It even even if you talk about the fallen angel level, it is still botched because they didn't even understand that science. The fallen angels themselves, including Lucifer, they didn't understand what they were quite teaching, because that knowledge was, they stole that knowledge from the order that they went to war with. They wanted to overthrow like this matriarchy. Now they still was able to come down to planet Earth, but they still set up that elements of even still this warring energy against the divine feminine. So it was always stolen knowledge, and they reversed engineered pretty much all of that knowledge on this planet to where they can siphon electromagnetic energy illegally to keep their botch system going, to keep a 3D dense system going that is isolated from the rest of the universe, who thinks they're under the conjunction of Saturn, but even all of those things are just, they're just incorrect pretty much. But back to what I was saying, P. Diddy offered, this money, and they said no. And you would think like 50 million, he's offering the houses, offering the cars, offering whatever to get out, and they're still saying no. And next thing you know, there's overnight, he's no longer a billionaire. Same thing that happened with Kanye West. And my thing is, if they can come and snatch your wealth away that easily, that means it wasn't yours to begin with. And that means it wasn't real wealth. That's the point. It's like someone is getting, like, that's just like when Kanye West said, I sold my soul for a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys and a Happy Meal. So he sold his influence. He sold his kinetic energy to honor a certain amount of albums or whatever he had to do in that contract, follow a certain set of rules in exchange for fiat currency. Give you the world. It's just the deal that Lucifer gives. You become a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever. And then as soon as he spoke up against the power structure and the exploitation of those contracts, overnight, he instantly lost his deals and was not a millionaire anymore. Now, he wanted to be free. He wanted out of those contracts. He wanted the exploitation to end. Fair, right? Fair ideas, and what anybody from the outside looking in that knows what's really going on would say, okay, yeah, you were being exploited. I remember he shared those contracts. I read those contracts that he shared, that Kanye West shared on, and I remember thinking, like, what the hell? Like, what, and so this is how they trick people out of their kinetic energy. And so the real power in the universe is kinetic energy. It is your awareness. It is your psychotronics. It is your resonant. It is your Hecka. It is your ability to fuel your electromagnetic field at will with the electrons from Creator God herself, or the source of creation, center of the galaxy, whatever you guys want to say. You want a scientific term, center of the galaxy, whatever. Or a pole of creation, a chaos intelligence realm, the realm of dark energy that can consistently birth new systems and new stars and new planets. That level of energy that we're talking about. Humans are connected to that. And so the real power in the universe will never be measured by what somebody has in their bank account. This is just spiritual science 101. If someone sets up a system and tricks you out of your birthright, tricks you out of your inheritance, gets you to give up something in exchange, or they're going to give you some gold, or they're going to give you, not even gold, because the money not even backed by gold standard no more. And they say, here goes some money. And then if a human says, okay, I'll do that, and then you end up getting owned. If they say, how bad do you want it? And you go through the rituals and initiations of whoever you got to sacrifice, or whatever you got to do to get to the top through unscrupulous means, people would do whatever they have to do to stay on top, or whatever, they knock out people they get jealous of, people they feel is competition. And it's all an illusion just to make it seem like they are on that top. So these are people that will feed the ego, never nourishing the self, never growing the self, but feeding the ego in the need for this, and this validation or this approval. from a system that is an illusion, a system that has always been false, a system that even, you know, the dogs at the top that runs it know it's full of shit. I mean, they laugh all the way to the bank every time they see a human sign one of these deals. And we're not even talking about like the humans that set the stuff up. We're talking about like those humans, like whatever you guys say, like these bloodline families or the ones that's in control of the entertainment industry, the people that the executives in control. They just are merely delivering on their contract. They are told to bring souls, and they are told what they got to do, and so they merely are keeping food on their table and keeping that shit off their back. And so they always go to the ones usually with the most kinetic energy and the ones with the prana, a lot of prana, and that it can depend on bloodline. A lot of the times it can depend on the bloodline. It can even depend on the race, but light and frequency in terms of your kinetic energy, that usually depends on the work that you do, your natural gifts and talents that God gives you, as well as the work that your ancestors have done, the bloodline you were born into. Some people just have more electrons than others. Some people have more heat. You have more hot sauce. As we know, like some people got a low vibe, some people got a high vibe, somebody got a good vibe, somebody got a bad vibe. That's all that translates into kinetic energy. What you have naturally. How big is your star power? There's some people that is a supernova. There's some people that are a galaxy. There's people that are a constellation. And so the whole thing of this system that is closed, this 3D system, is to deceive humans through mind control and through catering to their lower selves, the ego, the desires, the need for attention, the need for ego stroking, the need for flattery, the need for they present you that okay, you can have anything in this world, you or how bad do you want it, you sign on that line, are you willing to do what it takes to get there, you have to be tested, you have to, and it's really a sick, it's a perverse system because it's not it's for one, it's stolen, it's stolen information, and it's a bunch of people that the entities rather that are even behind running it literally have the mind of like a teenager in terms of God consciousness. Now, compared to humans, the humans may see them. Humans may be scared of them. Humans may be like, oh my gosh, you know, these are entities and these are beings that I have to honor or even offer things to because they can do these. They have more power than so these fallen angels do have more power. These entities, even the homunculus deities, have more power than humans. Um, I won't say even kinetic energy wise, but just intelligence wise, deception wise, and it's not a heat, but we're talking about like they can maintain a certain frequency or they can maintain the domain of a dimension or a principality, but they may not necessarily be of a higher frequency. And so that think of that as like a trickster god or a trickster deity or even a low level deity that feeds off of say child, you know, sacrifices or something or blood or something. That's still a low, like in the grand scheme, that would be a low level deity in the primordial eyes, but in the human eyes, that would still be looked at as a deity. But in the primordial's eyes, that would be seen as a homunculus deity or a earth base or something, maybe even something that is abhorrent, to be frank. But they could still maintain a great deal of power over humans. And so the whole system is ran on feeding that machine. And it is based on deception, and it is based on quite a bit of lies, to be honest. But yes, the real power in the universe is not money. And so money merely mimics kinetic energy in the matrix. That's all it does. It mimics, but it is not the same as kinetic energy. And kinetic energy is your hot sauce, your plasma, your aura, your breath, your prana, your blood, your life force. And you can trade your kinetic energy through, once again, you can do it through sex, drugs, a sacrifice, swiping energy purposely through psychotronics, through giving them someone your attention, your time, working for them. If you're working for somebody, you're giving them kinetic energy and they're giving you something, hopefully. And hopefully it's a fair value. That's why we have a whole barter system in trade and commerce, the law of trade, the law of commerce, and fair trade. We're talking about fair trade and non-exploitative practices. And so, the lack of morals in this system will get you fast money, but integrity ensures long money. And so with P. Diddy and many of these celebrities, unfortunately, they go through that process of they bamboozled. It's called a sucker tucker deal. I mean, you should see the way these entities laugh every time. I'm telling you, because they try to get me in one of these deals, and the frustration and the anger when they realize like I was on to what was going on. You should have seen it. I mean, the person's true colors and always show whenever you assert a boundary or you assert a right. You always get to know who a person truly is when you in those moments. But I'll say they have no problem, tricking humans into selling their kinetic energy in certain industries, be it politics and the entertainment industry in particular. And everybody knows the rumors about the entertainment industry. Most of it are not rumors. It has been said and speculated for decades of what goes on and what you must do to get to a certain position and to a certain level. And that is true. And then in certain positions, you have to take an oath. You have to sign in blood. You have to they have to be able to trust you, and they have to be able to know that you will keep secrets, and that they have to have blackmail over your head just in case you do decide to act up. So that's usually getting you into a compromised situation. And anytime you compromise your value, you compromise your kinetic energy, because now you're dealing with what oozes out of your electromagnetic field, what oozes out of your aura. Now your heat gets suppressed. So you came in as a star, an unlimited star. And as soon as you go through that process or agree that you need someone's validation or that you need someone's money or that you need these things, you need the ego, you need fame and fortune, you need these things, then what happens is people will prey on that, take advantage of that and say, okay, you join our organization, you join this, you do that. You show it, prove that you want to be jumped in or a made man or whatever. And people do those things, and they'll do some horrific things, and they'll set up a whole enterprise to blackmail enterprise where they'll get you in a compromising position. So where if you ever act up or speak out or don't play ball, it's going to get released. All of your crimes will be released. Any dirt that you have ever done will be released, and they will take back. You didn't honor the contract, they take back all of the money, all of the trinkets and the toys. Now you'll have some of you can call back your kinetic energy back from them too. But obviously your reputation will most likely be irreparably damaged. You'll get blacklisted, you won't be able to make any more money. And you need to be creative enough and have your mind together enough to be able to create your own opportunities and be okay with yourself and your soul if you have to do something more mundane, and hopefully you have enough influence and enough saved to where you don't have to do that either. But that's the ramifications if if you do, if you speak up against, or rather if you do not honor what you initially agreed to do in that contract. And so the kinetic energy aspect of this is very important, because once they get you in that compromising position, it you have to live with that for the rest of your life. Not you, but the person that does it have to live with it for the rest of their life. And that instantly lowers their kinetic energy. It lowers your frequency, knowing that you're doing shit that you ain't got no business doing, that you really don't even want to do just to get money. Like how one of the actors was talking about how he turns emotional tricks, and how some of the people are now coming forward about how they're being exploited in that industry, or how they was a sex worker, or how they was down with whatever they had to do to get to the next level, whoever they had to sacrifice, whoever they had to get out the paint. People who play that game, they generally have very low vibrations. They may have the glitz, the glam, that all that glitters is gold type thing that you see on the outside. But I mean, and people will tell you this themselves, that when those in that industry, that they tell you it's incredibly, incredibly low frequency. It's very low frequency, and you can feel it on them. You can feel the entities on them. You can feel the vibe that they working with. A lot of them are insatiably ego driven, narcissistic, jealous type of spirits, jealous personalities on them. You'll notice those things too, because they trade their God particle for a false illusion. So they're trading their kinetic energy and doing things that they don't necessarily even want to do, or saying things that they don't even necessarily want to say, just for money. That is also fiat currency. And that's the transfer. And that's why Kanye West said it's a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys and a Happy Meal. That's why Kanye West said, he sold to the devil for a Happy Meal, but at least it came with some toys and and he talks about how it wasn't even worth it. And so once someone has full self-awareness of who they truly are, their star energy, what they were born with, the gifts that are on them, the power that is naturally in them, they no longer are concerned with money, let alone that thinking that it's going to add value to you. This is when you truly have like this epiphany, this sense of contentment with the self. If you can be content, find contentment in yourself in regards to your looks, to what you have and what you don't have, your gifts, to what you are, you solve like a good 75% of your life problems from right there. You reduce stress instantly, and you can start worrying about what other motherfuckers think about you. Stop caring about what people say. Stop feeling embarrassed. Stop feeling like other things can outside of you can validate you, that you need someone's approval, that you need. Once you can do that and feel that and reach that self-contentment, I mean, half of life battles are already won at that level. Seriously, the level of stress that is reduced from that. And so that feeling is priceless. That feeling of that tranquility of the mind, the balance of the mind, but the mind behind the mind, like truly knowing who the self is, truly standing in your autonomy, in your own agency, in your own freedom. And once you do that, that's when you can really tap into your kinetic energy and open the floodgates to create your own opportunities while maintaining your own freedom. At the least bit, you'll probably just be meditating somewhere in nature. But for those that can truly tap in, you'll find that you'll create your own opportunities. And it's a slower roll, but it's longevity in that. And then plus you're truly living in your authentic self, your dreams. You're truly aligned with the synchronicity of the stars as well as you. The synchronicity between God, the sacred geometry, and your kinetic energy. That level of synchronicity is so hard to explain to somebody, but when you see it, you know it. Like you'll be able to point 3 forms of contact at least, based on a thought or based on something you were already thinking of or something you were looking for. I mean, anybody that has a moment of pure synchronicity like that, not like, oh, this could be a coincidence, not just seeing like, oh, I seen 333 today, or I seen 222. Not, I'm talking about like that level of synchronicity. Like, imagine, I'll give you an example. I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire song one day. The lyrics on, I was watching another video that had nothing to do with Earth, Wind, and Fire or the song that it was just a random, it was just a cool YouTube video. And then and the last part of the synchronicity was the time. I'm listening to the lyrics of the Earth, Wind, and Fire song while I'm watching this other video, right? The lyrics in this song that they were singing happened to be to randomly be the same exact stuff that was happening in this random video that's totally unrelated to Earth, Wind, and Fire. And it was I want to say it was That's the Way of the World, that song, That's the Way of the World. And it was just showing the stuff that was in the damn song. I'm looking at the time, the stuff that's in the part of the song that was on the time where it was at in the song was the same time that it actually was. And it was the same time that was on the actual other YouTube video. Randomly. And the lyrics was showing, like the lyrics that they were singing was like that level of synchronicity is otherworldly. It is so otherworld, and it's so hard to explain it. Like it's like you have to experience that, and it would be like, get the fuck out of here. Get the get the get the and people could say, oh, that's a part of the simulation and that's a part of the way you code it. I mean, you're playing this video game, and so it's an IPU broadband latency video game. And so we could see it, we could look at it that way. But I'm just saying that level of synchronicity, that's when that creates a lot of peaceful feeling in your life. Those moments, no matter how small, no matter how long they last, that truly creates like shit really is like worked out and flowing. Especially in the lyrics in the song that I was listening to, "That's the Way of the World," was some shit that I had been thinking. You know what I mean? It's like you had already been meditating on the song, and then that song comes on, and then the YouTube video. Like synchronicity is pretty cool. But again, um, you know, knowing the value of your kinetic energy becomes very powerful because you know that you're priceless. And then say you understand even your natural gifts that you had and that your ancestors placed in you. Say you understand the role and the things that your ancestors stood for, the surnames of your genealogy, your coat of arms, the things that your ancestors got into. That all helps you understand your kinetic energy. And to be honest, what you see going on in that world with the celebrities, they they uh they for the most part, many of them, not all, many of them sign over their kinetic energy through contracts in exchange for money. So it's like pretty much giving up, to an extent, free will and even the ability to be fully aware, to be told what to do in exchange for fame and fortune. But it's a trick because what they give you pales in comparison to what they get, and they know that. And see, the whole system of mind control is based on deception. It's based on stolen valor. It's based on stolen knowledge. It's based on stolen birthrights. It's a trick or it's a treat. Now, it's a trick for you. It's a treat for them. They get to eat off of that kinetic energy, real human soul star energy. And they give you fiat currency that they can print at motherfucking will through the Federal Reserve, whatever they're gonna print it and give it to your ass. You go buy what Ferrari, go buy a car or whatever. And they know the moment you act up, they take it all the way. They get to keep your energy. And technically, if they want to, they'll lock your ass up and find a way to even drain even more kinetic energy out your ass. And that's the situation that's happening to P. Diddy. And so these people, they value their money over their soul and even the souls of others because they have sacrificed people. They have screwed over people. They have done whatever they could do to get to the top, to be a part of that system, to be a mason, to be whatever it is. And that, again, is they're very dangerous. And so those without source particle, they want power. So they created a system that is parasitic and that is narcissistic to deceive humans and those who have the sauce, even certain bloodlines that have more sauce than others. There are certain bloodlines that are just blessed because their ancestors took pacts and oaths to creator God or to certain gods to always keep their people at a certain level of gifts and prana over them, to always keep an eye over them. Now they know who that group is and they know who them people are. And they go to them and they deceive them into signing over their energy through them contracts in exchange for money. You're giving up your free will. You're even giving up your ability to develop full awareness because them contracts have deities on them. It's Luciferian Babylonian contract law. Now, if you have to go through the oath, or if you did they try to find material to like blackmail material, and by that we're talking about like get you in a compromising position, then you're even limiting yourself even more. So you go from this infinite potential, infinite possibilities, infinite God consciousness, and then through a series of dense actions and densities, you go lower in your own kinetic energy. They go up and they get out. They're able to take that energy, give you the money for it. They know that they get to use your energy. That's why they take it to whether this initiation party, whether it's at Epstein's, whether it's at the Diddy party, whether it's at the Weinstein. You have to go through an initiation. Usually, it's a sex magic ritual that's done to traumatize and then you have to give up a sacrifice, and then you got to sign a contract. It is really a horrific deal, for anybody that knows a thing or two. But for those, say, a human that may not have much or may not know much, they figure, okay, we're talking about the opportunity for these opportunities to be around these people, and those people ain't shit. Them people are nothing but pedophiles and blackmail, compromised motherfuckers. You get to be around these people, get to do these things, and then for a human that don't know any better, that lights and those cameras and that action, and the trick of the light, the optics, the illusion blinds them, and so they get caught into a whirlwind: drug, sex, rock and roll. Now, being thrown into that can bring about insatiable desires and animalistic appetites that can actually be healing, to the point of where you create such a dichotomy that is such an antithesis to what you are, that you have an epiphany and a revelation of enlightenment and say, you know what, I don't want to do this. This is not it. And that's usually what the deep immersion into such a contrasting frequencies, or into such a duality, that was the reason why it was usually done. But for this planet, and for the inorganic ones who control this dimension, well, they no longer control it, but who had control over this dimension, for them, that I got a little distracted. I was looking at making sure my sound was good. But for them, that's that word control over this dimension. That's what they do. I lost my train of thought. My bad. Let me get back on track. So I got distracted. But unfortunately, many celebrities have gotten caught up into that, and you see that system dying. You see the age of that whole system being exposed, coming to light, like we had said it would, and a change of guard happening. A change of guard of a whole system of how we do things, a whole system of governance. And so the situation in which humans would get tricked, or they would have to do certain things to get put on or whatever, we want a cruelty-free system, cruelty-free artistry, cruelty-free politics, cruelty-free governance positions, people who have the natural talents, the natural merit, and honor and integrity. That's where the change of guard is going. That's where the system is heading to, because that is the energy of the Saturn. That is the energy that the universe is requiring in order even for this system to even still exist, even for this dimension, even for 3D to even just exist. For anybody that's just want to stay here, 4D, 5D, same thing, all the way up to 12D. I got asses. Quite up to 20D, to be frank. Now, most humans don't have to worry about that. Then we get into like the Dracos, and we ain't ready for all of that. But yeah, there's a whole change of guard, and that was demanded by the primordials, and the fallen angels have no choice but to follow that. So say there's humans that are upset about that. There's humans that are very angry about what's going on, because they spent their life sucking and fucking or whatever they had to do, selling their soul, whatever, realizing that the whole shit just switched on them, and they just getting rid of everybody and doing everything over again. And this is not like a white or a black thing. This is the interdimensional beings that are demanding this. It's the primordials that are demanding this. This is the some of the higher power deities on some of even those contracts that are even honored, and even some of the fallen angels who have decided to honor what the primordials want. And so a human, let alone even a Draco reptilian, you have no say into what is going on here. For those, like, say, celebrities or whoever may think, oh, what's going on? Like, I know Meek Mill was talking about, what's going on? Who's doing all this? Who's causing all this? That's so high up there that the systems your systems have fallen. And in order to keep them from free falling, there are some actions and things that need to be taking place. There's some change of guard that need to be taking place. I warned you guys of this in 2022. I was the crazy lady. I wanted to say that, play crazy, act like I was just didn't know what I was talking about. Warned people again in 2023. Particularly a person that I know for a fact worked to set me up to try to get me killed and blacklisted and discredited. But also that worked with P. Diddy, or has known P. Diddy for 25 years. I messaged him in August 14th of 2023 through email. Obviously, there's records of this, stating that, we were changing his guard, and that the end times are near. We're going into another system. The dimension will there. I said it's never going to be the same after this year. I told him that in August 2023, December 2023. I make an announcement. It's the year of exposure. Be cracking down on these industries. Once again, the whole thing was to blacklist me, to make sure I was shadow banned, knowing that I was speaking the truth on these things, whether that be trying to lock me up, drug me, all types of stuff has happened to me from seeing into what I see, knowing from what I know, and to keep me from speaking on what I'm speaking on. So obviously, the last recourse, if you can't kill the person, because they have tried to kill me several times through poisoning and different means. If they cannot do that, then obviously the last recourse is a discrediting campaign, a COINTELPRO campaign, no touch psychological torture. And if that doesn't work, then it's just you have to severely shadow ban them. And so that's what I deal with. But that doesn't stop me from speaking the truth and from being 100% accurate on many of the things that I have said. Just even through my clairvoyance, been able to prove, at least on a weekly basis for the last 8 months, that I can see things before they happen. And again, I'm not saying I know everything, but there's something going on here that it can objectively be proven. So I know that this system has changed. I know that this dying system in those Satanist death cult group, that secret society, they don't quite want to believe that. They don't quite want to honor that. They don't quite even like that. And so they spent these years doing all these rituals and all these things, only to find out that a lot of this information that they had been, even the homunculus deities that they had been serving, are for one fucked up in the head. They're low level. They're not primordial. And the fallen angels are fucking kids. That's what they learned. Like, they're following like a being, like, say, if you want to say for Lucifer, for instance, they believe in Lucifer. Well, there's this this is too complicated. I wrote a book on this. I can't get into all of this on a YouTube channel. It's too deep. It's way too deep. But I'll say this: the fallen angels, regardless of how humans perceive them or made pacts with them or worked with them, they are only at this time, age 17 in galactic consciousness. In terms of soul consciousness, they would be at age 17 in human years. When they first got down here, they were only ages like 5 to 10. Now, compared to a human, they're still more considerably advanced, considerably more advanced than a human. But to the primordials and to the beings that put this whole construct together, they are but mere teenagers to us. Like, they are literally age 17. And so they teach humans this fucked up stuff, reversed engineer. They want to control humans. They know that humans can leave the 3D. They know that humans can ascend quite higher than them because they made their deal to come down here and they disrespected and did a lot of shit. So they got to stay down here. They know that. And so they have no problem if they have to trick a human into not knowing certain things or giving them botched information or only giving them the information that they know at a certain level. But it's not making any like you. I mean, even a lot of the information that even teach about reincarnation and in terms of reaching Mashka and stopping the cycle of samsara, the cycle of reincarnation. Well, you can't even remember your past life, so that doesn't even make, you know what I mean? It's like, well, if I was supposed to keep evolving, why the fuck can I remember what I did in my past life? You know, it's like it's certain teachings that, like, even if you talk about the analogy behind the Baphomet and you know, the analogy behind the Baphomet and the dissension between the adversarial self of Satan and the higher self and all those things, it's still, you don't need that to make an analogy of something very simple that has been found in human history for thousands and thousands of years. Like the concepts that are rooted in the analogy of the Baphomet is Western occultism, Western Hermeticism, not even Hermeticism, just Western occultism. That analogy can be found in every religion, just so you know. So you don't need that symbol, but that symbol is a satanic symbol. And so that's how you can tell that somebody's lying about some information, is what I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that it's the human's fault, but I'm saying that somewhere, somehow, something is not adding up. And so that to me, I knew that quite frankly just from looking at the information, and then it was revealed to me spiritually that a lot of that stuff, that's when I had to just rely on myself, my own kinetic energy, my own connection to the cosmos, my own connection to melanin, my own connection to God, and get the answers for myself and study the information of the quantum universe itself. Go back in the records, look at the records myself, not just the Akashic records. There are records that are higher than the Akashic records. I had to go and look at all of that because it wasn't making any sense. And so I had to get the true story. Then I had to have conversations with the entities myself, including primordial mother, primordial Godhead, Lucifer, multiple fallen angels, the uh, 9 choirs of angels to get their side too of the story. So that obviously means some archangels as well, some principalities. You don't have to believe these things. This is just a priest. I'm just a priestess talking. If you don't have to, agree or believe. I'm just saying, like, this is the work that I've had to do to make sense of what exactly was going on in this particular simulation. That's how I know that the mainframe, when we talk about simulation, we're talking about the matrix, which is, and you program the matrix through a series of vector spaces. And so that could be like arrow points. Like that's how you create a dimension. So obviously we have 3 dimensions, 3D with 4D, 5D, whatever. And so you program a vector space with a computational algorithm, with the code. So you have to create a mainframe for that matrix. So planet Earth and the systems that are on planet Earth have a mainframe. And so at one point, melanin people had control over that mainframe. There was a war that broke out. Many of the men wanted to overthrow that matriarchy. And so they willingly sold parts of the mainframe out to other bloodlines and even created species to do that with. Now, as above, so below, this war also took place out in the higher dimensions too, as far as the divine masculine and divine feminine. And so that mainframe was sold out. So now we're talking about other royal bloodlines that get their inheritance stolen from them because another treacherous tribe sold them out or whatever. And as you know, you have to be talking about certain tribes going into slavery. But a lot of these tribes were from certain bloodlines or had certain inheritance over the actual mainframe of this simulation, of this matrix. And they lost their birthrights, whether that be because they were enslaved, somebody sold it out, they were paid to give it up to another bloodline, a foreign bloodline. The species that they created, they put, a lot of these men, when we talk about like the creation of homunculus deities and the creation of even species, the men started experimenting with the sciences that they learned from their mothers, from the women, to create species to fight proxy warfares. They knew that they were willing, they already knew that they needed to get rid of a certain, what they felt was a power structure, and to make sure to protect themselves on planet Earth from that power structure, the primordials, the divine, the chaos intelligence realm that is ran by a matriarchal system, the Committee of 99. Those men, and these are melanated men, these are more interdimensional beings, though they're not quite human at this level, because now we're talking about them coming down. They knew that they had to create a system to where they can hide their power, where they can create humongous deities that will have power even over the humans that had already been on planet Earth. The humans that are already evolving, still young, still baby souls, don't know what the hell's going on, still evolving. We're talking about obviously aeons ago. And so they created homunculus deities. They started genetically splicing, experimenting with women themselves. They created new races. They wanted to know, okay, well, how do we safeguard? How do we actually, these sciences that they know at the level that they were at, within the orders that they were at before they came on planet Earth, but also the knowledge that they stole. How can they reverse engineer it to keep them in power as men? What can they do to even wield out that power? And so we have a system at the higher levels called the creation of egregores. Those fallen angels decided to create homunculus deities. That was their version of creating egregores. Those are not really egregores, though. It's very limited. Again, we're talking about kids playing around with stuff. on planet Earth, and then trying to teach humans these stuff. And some of the information is correct. Some of the information is definitely correct, and some of it's not. And so they created those homunculus deities. They created as shields against allowing other high order beings to come in here on planet Earth, but also as to shield them from to keep humanity under control to an extent. Those egregores, we're talking about low governing force entities, whether that be Babylonian deities, be deities that they require blood sacrifice of your children, whatever it is. They unfortunately were created, and those were to be like the egregores that would control humanity in a sense, whether that be through mind control, whether that be, and again, this is, if you could see through all of this, you don't have to fall for this. But we're talking about people who walked into their system, who wanted to make deals with the fallen angels, who wanted to make pacts or contracts with the fallen angels. And so obviously you have a mess created. And as you can see, that's why you see the real reason for all of these resignations. That's why you see those are the real reasons for the resignations of all of the politicians and the CEOs. And it's been going on for a while. But the mass after P. Diddy got arrested, you saw like it was a bunch, because they realize too that it's end of an age. Things are going to be out there. And so if people kind of want to just fall into obscurity without having them come under question or even certain actions, you're going to see a lot of people fall from the limelight. A lot of people move overseas. A lot of celebrities move overseas. A lot of politicians move overseas, resign, because it is a change of guard. The system in which you have to be blackmailed and compromised or sell your soul or be traumatized or sacrificed in order to have anything, even if you're talented and gifted, or do horrendous things, engage in sex magic rituals with demonic entities. Like that system is dying, and people have to push it back on that even harder. Like there's for one, you can see even the level of light that is even being turned out in the music industry. Look at where the music is at. Look at what the music is that's being produced. I mean, that music doesn't even sound, you know what I mean? And so it's like the vibration and frequency that it has gotten so out of balance to where it's kind of like a pendulum swinging the other way naturally. It's like a boomerang. It's like, okay, you go so low, you could only go up at that point. If you hit rock bottom, you can only go back up. And so sometimes you boomerang the system. If you push something into a corner, or if it gets so thrown out of whack of the universe, then there's a natural balancing. There's an auto correction that has to take place. And that's what's happening on planet Earth. It's an auto correction. It wasn't that easy to get it to this level. It was years in the making, decades in the making, different regimes at work, different conglomerates at work to get what the results that you see now, with systems falling, with the demand for change and with the demand for justice. And we're still working. There's still a lot of work to be done, but you're in the final stages of that. Like you're in the machinations of going into literally a new order. But there are different federations at work, galactically and universally. There's principalities that are at work, and there was a war. A lot of spiritual war has taken place. There's a lot of spiritual war still going on. You guys know that. But you see that shake up in Hollywood, which we told you in 2023 that would happen. We told you that would happen. And it was ignored, and people probably was like, okay, I received phone calls of threats and stuff. And I've been threatened. I've been dealing with, so it's not like people actually think that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's that there are people that are very powerful that know exactly who I am. And I've received those phone calls and those threats and those tip-offs and even dealing behind the scenes with them trying to stop me and sabotage me and literally even kill me. And so that doesn't stop me, though, because I understand my kinetic energy. I understand completely who I am and soul power. and even over the people that run this system, these people that you guys are so scared about. You guys talk about some, oh, their bloodline things are going to come get you. The bloodline family's going to come get you. And and it's because you don't know your kinetic energy and you don't know the value of kinetic energy over money. So you don't know that real power in the universe is not backed by that. You don't know that. The people who talk like that, or people who value money over their soul. Kinetic energy is your true source of power. That is the energy that gets you through the stratosphere to help you create your own matrix, to program your own reality, to manifest at will. But when you take a shortcut, that means others will do the work for you. Say the imitation Kabbalists, the other occultists, they'll do the work for you to make you a star, to make you something that you already are. And so they're transferring. It's a trick or a treat. It's the law of optics, as above, so below. So you done came in as a star from the ethers of the infinite being on a denser dimension for whatever reasons. They feel like they have to, they from the time you are a little baby, the programming starts. Some of your families already took deals to do this. There are people that literally breed for the beast machine, for the satanic system. There are people who want to get out of a contract, so they got to have a baby to offer them up to the system and sacrifice the kid to the system. Many, even celebrities, are sacrifices of consciousness to the system through their parents who wanted to get out, or whoever, their grandparent could have wanted to get out. And so they will groom the kid for fame and fortune through a series of MK Ultra. And you either, obviously the parent will get out, the parent will be out of their deal, or they'll be scotch-free, but the kid is not. And so, but the kid is under such programming, they're not aware of that. They can be brought to different handlers. They can be sold by other traffickers. It's very deep, and it's all very covert. So it's not like the actual human themselves just going through this will quite know it, because they're already under a very powerful witchcraft spell based on the contracts on that bloodline, especially if they come from a Masonic bloodline. And so it's very unfortunate, but it's this is what's happening. It's very unfortunate, but it's been happening, and we're shedding light to it. People now know that these are the prices to pay, and that this is what people are doing. And so, say that there are celebrities that are born into this. Believe it or not, they'll get a pass. Like there are celebrities that are born into satanic families that go through satanic ritual abuse, and they get passed around the industry as little kids. Or they're groomed into it by their parents. They'll get more of a pass, or they'll have an easier chance breaking those strongholds versus someone that willingly knows this information that I'm saying to you. Because there are some that do know, that have known and studied the occult and studied the industry before going into it. And then they willingly walked into that industry to play the game for fame and fortune, and did some ridiculous and horrific things in order to get it, whether that meant sacrificing family members, friends, whoever. And that gets less of a pass. Because I'm telling you, I know that at least two people I would say more than that, like 3 people that studied the occult heavily before they even got a deal, before they was even noticed, and then they went into it. That one group that did that, most of their lives has ended up in disaster. Most of them are dead. The last person that is the most wealthy of them, he makes it very clear that they roll with the Satanic agenda. These are black men. The women, it was a team of them. They grew up. They got into fame. They practiced the occult. Most of them are dead. And then one of the survivors, you should see, like, he's older. He's a real old man now. He's an old black man. And he was saying, like, he said they didn't know what they knew what they was conjuring up and dealing with. And you should see the look of sadness, because he said it wasn't even worth it. And then he was like, man, people was messing around with shit that they don't really understand what it's about. And he said, I only survived because his God particle, he had too much God in him. And that God allowed him to survive. But all the rest of the people that's around him, they all dead. And they were all in contracts, and they all had fucked up deals. They sold out for pennies on a dollar. It wasn't like they got shit out of it, millions or nothing, not even trillions, nothing. And get a couple $100,000 or whatever, And so obviously that's one situation. Another situation, that person is now getting is most likely going to come under severe fire because they willingly walked into that industry. Again, the kids that get passed into that, said like a baby boy like Orlando Brown or Michael Jackson, you'll still see like the light on them, follow them throughout their whole life, and God protect them their whole motherfucking life on them because they were fucking kids. And I'm telling you, there are people that get born into this, and sometimes you don't even have to be a celebrity. If you're a military family, a family that got ties to intelligence, a family that got ties to intelligence and Mason blood, you could be passed around and not even know it. You could be not even passed around through sex trafficking, but through different forms of different. There's different experimental trafficking. There's psychological black op programs that traffic people unbeknownst to them too. Black op programs, foster care kids deal with a lot of that stuff too. And so it's a deep thing. But those who willingly walked into that system to play that game, they usually get because again, they had to do horrific things in order to get that level of to certain positions, whether that be sacrificing their best friends, people that were way more talented than them, people that deserved more, they wanted to swipe identities, but people you stealing kinetic energy from people. And so when you're stealing kinetic energy from someone, you're creating an energy deficit that has to be paid back some way or the other, whether their ancestors come and get it, whether like it's going to be paid back. And then the things that they have done, it lowers their own kinetic energy because they're under mind control. They have been traumatized. They have things that's being held over their head to embarrass them, to make them behave and never question the systems that they are in. There are many people that feel coerced into their positions, that felt like they had no choice, that didn't know any better. It makes your self-esteem low. And then you have blackmail over your head. And if you act up, they're going to pull it out, or they'll lock you up and take everything back. And so some people, they just go along to get along because they don't want to question anything or rough any feathers. They just want to, as they say, get their bag, get their money. And so we see a dying system, and it's being torn down systematically, is being torn down by the primordial mother herself. With the team, she obviously has not worked, but it's a serious recognizance team that has been going on this planet with different factions, some of which have no connections to each other. Like the team that started in 2016 has no connection to my team, to my dimension, but they have been putting in work. Even certain, we can't get that deep, but there are certain factions. You have galactic federations. It goes much deeper than that. You got military bases on different planets that stepped in to help out certain people, because again, there was humans on here that got the light codes. Because here's the thing, we have humans, there are some humans that are hybrids of other species from different star systems, right? I'm not saying you're all are, I'm just saying some of us are. And so there were humans that got trapped in illegal deals, illegal energy swiping, illegal Masonic credit swiping. There was humans that, like the situation that Britney Spears is in, for instance, that's a very illegal situation in the universe's eyes. So whoever bred her specifically for those purposes. And so those strongholds are very heavy on her. But people will have kids just to swipe soul energies, or to swipe destinies, or to get out of deals, or to offer them up as sacrifices. All this stuff is very illegal in the universe's eyes, as far as the stealing and swiping of kinetic energy. And so some of those humans, realize that whether it be the parents, sometimes the parents had to figure out a way, like they would have to petition their own star family, or God rather. And then in some instances, God herself and the ancestors and some of the entities that are galactic stepped in to protect some of these children and some of these humans from being put into certain positions, or being sold, or being fucked with illegally. Me being one of those people. And so some humans, they had to have help. And so that's why you see certain constellations stepping in, certain dimensions stepping in on this planet at this time. And then even some of the humans that have been born and bred into this are tired, and they have set up their own recognizance missions that have been going on for a long time to break the strongholds over this globe, and to stop what was going on, the Brotherhood Satanic Death Cult system. the violation of children, the violation of women, the lies and deception of humanity, the violation of humanity, the violation of planet Earth, the violation of universal law, the violation of planetary law, the violation of the law of water, the violation of universal law. Like, I mean, like every violation you could think of has been committed on this planet, and time is up. It's as simple as that. Certain people are not as held as accountable as others. Again, if you're the children that were born into this sort of satanic system, um, even if groomed and even if they have done themselves some horrific things, um, there's a learning lesson for that as well. But you'll see more of past versus those who we know are heart interdimensional, that we know have ties to fallen angels, and that we know who are not can appear as human to you, but can be a Draco or literally a principality or a fallen watcher. And so you think it's a human. You don't understand why certain people are getting held to the fire more than others, say like a Epstein or a Weinstein or a P. Diddy, and there's going to be even more. There's certain principalities that are getting, because they are the part of the dragon. Like they have more of a role and to doing with the destruction than say other people. And see, P. Diddy was running the enterprise ring. It wasn't just him. He had help and backing from very powerful sources. But to make it seem like he himself, as a black nobility, Venetian and maybe even possibly Sephardic, to make it seem like he himself would not have any power, because you see the structure of race, the social construct of race being the predominant system on planet Earth. That is by design. That is a part of the program that they need you to play into. And they do use it. They do wield that system. Make no mistake about it. They will use a white supremacist system against those that are melanated. But even at the highest levels, let's get there. I'll show you this. I'll tell you this. The bloodline families have the money, right? You always talk about the bloodline families have these trillions and trillions of dollars, right? You know, guys say this, but they still have to answer to the spirits on their packs, right? They still have to answer to those spirits that own their contracts, their many legions, their gods, the being who gave them that money and that power. Okay, the being who gave that money and that power, the beings who gave them that money and that power. So now we're talking about principalities and the fallen watchers and even the whole the prince kingdom, the demon. Those are black people. Those are black beings. They're melanated. So the black Venetian nobility, when we talk about black nobility, part of that is interdimensional. There is some black royalty that knows the game, that created the game. And they know that it was black people that sold out birthrights. Particularly the tribe of Judah got sold out, and many other tribes of Israel, and many other melanated tribes in general that may not even be of the Judaic, the Hebrew bloodline. There are other royal bloodlines on this planet. There's some that come from Orion. There's some that come from Pleiades that landed in America. So we're not going to get that deep. I know y'all not ready. I know y'all not ready, but you know that there's other constellations of beings on this planet. And for those that's like, okay, that's just crazy talk. Well, how come all of melanated ancient tribes or melanated ancestors, why do they all talk about the star system that they come from? Every advanced melanated tribe on this planet, their creation story starts with a star system, a constellation. It is documented. I looked through the American Indian, Black indigenous tribes. I actually wrote a book on this, and the book, the epistemology of knowledge production and the out of Africa theory. That I was people probably thought I was just attacking Africans, which I wasn't. I was waking up the fact that black melanated people's creation stories don't deal with a landmass of Africa, and that melanin is cosmic, and what connects us is the cosmos through this melanin, and that melanin was not created in Africa. Melanin, the sun shines everywhere, and so melanin would be created in a stellar sense. You can know that just from looking outside at nighttime. And you see black, and we see black animals that are indigenous to even just say North America or South America, or so that's how you could prove that melanin is not just created in Africa. because there are animals that are indigenous to, say, like the Americas that have melanin. Same thing with even certain fruits and veggies. I mean, that's just common sense. And so it's very advanced stuff that I was saying, but people, they purposely even wanted to misunderstand me or discredit me. But the point is that every melanated person's creation story starts with the stars, different star systems. So, say for say like the tribe of Mali, what was the tribe? Oof, the Mali tribe. I'm just scanning my brain right now. It's so much information overload. Hey, what is that damn tribe? The tribe in Mali that talks about that discovered Sirius A, B, and C. Damn, it's like on the tip of my damn tongue. I could probably, let me just Google it real quick. Mali tribe that discovered Sirius Star. When I see it, I'm gonna be like, oh, the doggone tribe. There we go. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So the doggone tribe, their creation starts with the Sirius star system. Some of the stars, I want to say it was the Dene people in America. They either said they were from Pleiades or the Orion, Pleiades or the Orion belt. A lot of the American tribes say they're from Pleiades. Then we're talking about their oral histories, their sacred texts, right? Their sacred texts are talking about they either come from the Orion system, the Pleiades system, Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C, different dimensions that they come from. They're talking about this concept of primordial water, which I did the research, can be found in every single last continent. This idea of primordial darkness and primordial water, and every single religion talks about this. So it's very deep stuff. We're talking about primordial cosmic melanin. And so they know that's where they're from. And so that's why I pushed back on, the whole out of Africa thing. It wasn't because of I have a gripe with Africans. It was because I looked through all of the creation stories of melanated people, various tribes, and noticed the pattern. And then noticed this my study of melanin. I wrote about melanin in books. And so that let me know that there's something deeper going on here, and that this is just a plane of existence called planet Earth. It's a simulation of a vector space. And I'm okay with that, because our ancestors knew this science of how to create different dimensions and develop enough kinetic energy, or even develop enough kinetic energy to ride out through the stratosphere to get to different dimensions, different parallel universes. Is they know that the universe is mental. So our ancestors did. So let me get back to my point, though. You said you guys talk about these bloodline families, right? They have all this money. But again, they have to answer to these spirits. And I'm telling you that the higher up you get, it gets interdimensional. So now we're talking about hybrids. And I'm telling you that they are melanated, and that they purposely hide behind those blood families and put them out on dummy missions. And they know that too. And so they do let some of them creep in. Like, you'll see some of, even say, like, say you have Black Venetian nobility. They hybrid. They know how to hide. They know how to teleport in and out of this dimension. They may have Venetian nobilities, and those nobilities, they sacrifice their divinity. So they're well aware of what they've done, and they don't care. Some do, some regret it, but I am telling you that they are well. They have sacrificed certain Black American tribes into slavery, certain African tribes into slavery, Caribbean tribes. They are well aware of that. They hide their power, and they don't care about money because they're interdimensional. The bloodline families run. They made them take the pack to them. They have to answer to Lucifer. They have to do what they're told. And so what I'm trying to get people to say is that there's a system behind a system. And so that's how you'll see sometimes a certain Black person get in certain positions, play the ball with them, play games, or play the game with them, get far up, more farther than most white people would get, say like in P. Diddy's case. Then he plays the game, realizes his contract's about to be up and tries to play one last chess move, and the chess move didn't work. The chess move, obviously, the suing for the situation with Diageo. But you got to figure, his contract would have been up anyways, and plus he created too much energy deficits. That's why it was so easy for them to get at him. So because he had already created so many energy deficits, whether that be the crimes that they considered illegal in their system, and then the energies of deficits spiritually that he created from fucking over so many people all these years, from sacrificing motherfuckers and killing motherfuckers and harming people over the years. The anger that his artists felt, the fact that people in the hood, his own, had already charged him with Tupac's and Craig's Mack and Black Rob's death and Kim Porter's death. Like, there's people that had already, so it was already so much energy deficit that it was easy for Diageo to just play they hand, and it wasn't really Diageo that played that hand, believe it or not. But he thought he would have that one last chess move. I'll sue and win, get out the contract, had the money, and can play the race card and have the black community back me. Not realizing that the black community don't fuck with him. Like, they were so out of the loop. And so they had to send out the pro-black controlled opposition to try to brainwash us into like, oh, see, they're coming after the black man. They're coming after the black man. Well, here's the thing. That black man fucked them white people and messed with them and loved on them all these years and screwed over black Americans. Where was all this black man talk when he worked with Diageo for 15 years? When he worked with Clive Davis and was getting screwed by screwing them and getting screwed by them. How could you walk into their system like that? Fuck them people, be with all in they shit, take the oath to the Baphomet, work with they say and their system for 30 years, screw over nothing. All these black American artists come forward and say you screwed them over. And then when your contract is up, or when they're tired of you, or when you bucked back, or you broke your oath and you wanted to do other things, and they crack down on you, how the hell do you think it's rational to come to the people that you had a part in destroying, in terms of the music you produce, the lives you destroyed, the programming that the music that was already low frequency that other people were making money off of, the culture that you sold out to them white people? Why would you think it's okay to come back and then it's 3 people that's close to you saying you the fucking feds? Why would anybody want to support that in the black community? Knowing that the whole system is rigged, knowing that it's a rigged ass system. It's a secret society that's behind us. Either you in or you out. And if you don't play ball, whether you white or black, you're out. There are white people that's getting smacked up too. You just don't hear about it. There's an officer that just got 30 years, CIA officer that just got 30 years for doing the same thing P. Diddy is getting accused of. Same exact thing. And so, yes, there are black royalty that still play that game. They are a part of the monarch bloodline, maybe at a low level or a higher level. It depends. See, there's some that are part of black Venetian nobility. They tend to be corrupt anyways because they are part fallen angel. And they're Draco reptilian too. And so those black royalty, they play the game and they sell out. They already had that sellout blood in them. They already had that sellout spirit in them. So they'll sell out blood rights, especially if for certain tribes that they naturally have jealousies of. Certain tribes have more gifts than other tribes. They have been blessed by other tribes because of the work that their ancestors put in. And so there are also some people, though, that are part of black royalty, even maybe a part of the tribe of Judah, and they walked away. And as a result, they had to face the same fate as the other sacrifices of the other black sheep, whether that be meaning getting sold into slavery, being bottom casted. But they knew that they didn't want to lose their kinetic energy because they know that's what made them powerful. See, there was some royalty that knows this information. They're like, well, I don't want to play that game because I already know my kinetic energy. And I know that I'll be more powerful, even if it's dormant, and even if they lock me out of the system, even if they blacklist me, whatever, I still have my kinetic energy. That means I can still make the moves that I still need to make and not fall for the trick or the treat. Trick or treat, law of optics. And so you have that system. There are black people that still value money over their kinetic energy. So they can't see what true power is because they get scared. That's why they always say, oh, the bloodline family is going to come get us if we say their name. Oh, they scared. They owned These people are completely out of their mind. They can't even see what true power is. They don't know what is true and where it lies. And so you'll have like black people that say, why would they have random people that don't have no money in the Illuminati? Because at a certain level, it's based on kinetic energy. They still understand that. The white folks understand it. The black folks understand it at the highest level. The highest level of priestesses and occultists understand it. Your highest level, most powerful priestesses and occultists most likely won't have fame and fortune, most likely won't be consumed with even that whole conundrum. It'll be way beyond that. They won't be concerned with money. And there are people that are walked away, but they still have their power. And so another reason why you'll see, like, why would they let random black people say in the Illuminati? Say like a Jaguar Wright. Yes, she was a high priestess. She was in their shit. Not only as a sex worker, a part of their system, completely a part of their system, but also as someone who is trained as a handler and as a programmer and as a priestess. And I'll prove that to you in the next video that we're doing. I have no smoke with her, no beef or no problem. I'm just saying I see a thing for what it is. I see it for what it is. And she admits that she was doing that stuff that they were doing, and she knows about it. That's how she knows all the stories, but she was a part of it. And she actually walked into it. That's why Orlando Brown called her out in his coded 45D dimension way. Shit, we got to talk about that. We're going to do a whole breakdown on that because that was some heavy ass shit. Like that shit, man, that was some heavy stuff. Oof. But yeah, there are people, there are those that decide not to give up their kinetic energy. They'll walk away. They'll face the consequences of that. They may even be put in a no-touch psychological torture program. They get gang stalked. The Masons will attack them, give them white glove treatment, come after them because they broke their oath or whatever, or the fallen angels through the top-down compartmentalization and through various compartmentalizations of even higher secret societies in the Masons. From top down, will spread like a smear campaign or a lie or whatever and say that put them on a list or whatever, and then you have to go after them, attack them, financially blacklist them, psychologically torture them, do all types of crazy stuff. To those who won't play ball, that could be those who got too much God particle, those who decide to walk away, or those who they wanted to recruit but refused to play ball. And see, the white people at the top, they use black people for their ancient magic system. A lot of them know that shit that they can't work without the right light codes. And so they trick powerful black Americans who have a lot of powerful high level kinetic energy and naturally into using their power for their system. So they probably get initiated into their mystery sciences or their botched magic system that they stole from melanated people. And they know they need melanated people to activate it. I've witnessed this, and it's very sad to see. It's horrific to see. I've witnessed this firsthand. I've seen even people, even in, I would say, even my own bloodline, get tricked out of their own star and see them knowing that I'm working. And I could see them working for the other side and knowing the power that they initially had, and whatever they got tricked or whatever deal they made or whatever they had to do, they are under oath or they may even be blackmailed. And to know, it's a hard thing to watch when you see it. And a lot of times they may not go up to the levels that they could have, because they don't want to do certain things, but they still are under oath and they still have blackmail on them. And so they have power, but they may not have the money, or they may not even be able to move up any further. And that was the main goal of the narcissistic parasitic systems that are ran by homunculus deities and fake bloodline families, stolen valor families, to get the powerful black bloodlines, to get them to join them, to get them to transfer their kinetic energy to them in exchange for fame and fortune or whatever wealth or whatever they wanted to give them. It was a trick. And if you did not join, or if you were labeled crazy, or you were blacklisted, or they'll drive you crazy, and so that you it's pretty much they have to distract you and fuck you up so bad so that you don't hurry up and start glitching name matrix, so that black people who are become aware don't glitch and start to take back over the mainframe of the system. That's what it's for, so that they don't take over the mainframe, so they don't ever see that's why they hurry up and go into like Agent Smith mode for those who won't play ball. They will financially blacklist you, label you crazy, do things to gaslight you, or even put you in a psychological torture program, which is pretty much to do anything to lower your frequency. Whatever they can do to get a reaction to either lock you up or to lower your frequency, they will do. Because if you operate to at a high frequency, you take full control of your kinetic energy. Say if it's just one or two of you, you could do this by yourself. But imagine if it's three or four of y'all, and y'all all know, and you will crash the matrix most likely. You will glitch a hole. You will rip a portal. You will do something. You'll open up a portal and bring certain dimensions in, certain entities in that you need from your galactic family, the help that you need, and you'll start glitching a fucking matrix. And you have to figure that out before they get to you. You have to figure out how to do that before they get to you. You have to have power from on high. And you don't necessarily have to be someone who has walked away. That we talk about like the targeted individual program. That's where all that stems from. And there's a secret society that is behind it. And I know it's because I'm a victim of one of that program. So it's not like I'm speaking from someone that's never been inside of their stuff, but I come from a bloodline that has, and they walked away, and the stuff fell on me. They were, they were trying to get me out the paint too, of me being an activist and a scholar, and teaching certain things that are just naturally in my blood. That became a huge threat to the system, and so they started to surround me. And by that I mean like certain people, that you're just thinking it's one thing, you're thinking they're cool, you're gonna be friends, whatever, and then you find out it's something else, or that they have a different agenda or whatnot. And so I share my story on here. I'm not gonna go all into detail about that, but you have to figure out a way, to use your kinetic energy to start to create your own matrix system, your own IPU. And so before they want to allow people to do that, they have to constant distractions, constant lowering of the vibration, whatever they can do to agitate. But for certain people that are really, really threatened by, they will go through extremes to make sure you never have money, to make sure that you're labeled crazy. I mean, like you will feel it. And see, certain people, they prana is so powerful. Like they tried that all with me. It just won't work. Someone who's an author of 20 books, who's still writing books, and who thinks the way I think, it's like it's hard to put certain jackets on me because I know how to maneuver in a certain way where, for one, I'm gonna glitch your shit. I'll just crash your fucking matrix and have that shit free fall, and then I could just reprogram it myself. And then even if I was say they have tried to kill me unsuccessfully, and if they were to do that, then they're detonating a fusion power switch, a kill switch. And that was by design. That has been put in motion aeons before I was even here. I didn't plan any of that. I'm just saying this is the work of my ancestors and the work of certain dimensions that needed to wake up my bloodline. That doesn't mean that everybody in my bloodline answered the call, woke up, even listened, or even cared. And that's fine. But those that did, and that are even secretly maybe even trying to figure out what's going on, then they will benefit most from what's going on at this day and age. This is a complete change of guard, and and like I said, like when we talk about like there are Black people that that they are way more powerful than these bloodlines that y'all are so scared of. These bloodlines that y'all talk about, they got the trillions of dollars. And I can't relate to that because I just know I know how the whole system started, and I know who got them in power, and I know who's behind their power. And to me, I guess it just nothing. I don't see like this stuff that y'all see. It doesn't translate in my mind the way y'all see it, because I'm just looking like, dude, who do you think gave them their power? Like, how do you think the whole system of white supremacy started? And that's why my whole body of work talks about this. No one has disputed me. Like I said, I'm open to debate anybody. Like anybody can, and you could feel that fear of that people have of me because they know I'm very thorough on what I'm talking about. The esoteric sciences, as well as this, whether it be scientifically, objectively, sociologically. Like I'm going to come with sources. I'm going to come with back research. I'm going to come with things that make sense, and it's going to be rooted in my own cosmology. I'm gonna let white people belittle me. You know how you saw them white boys try to belittle Terrence Howard, and he was kind of looking like kind of intimidated. I'm like, they would never be able to do that to me. They cannot come to the source of primordial being and think that nothing that come out their motherfucking mouth is going to lead any credence to what I got to say over them white folks. And that's the difference between me and most black people. And that's why a lot of black people have an issue with me, because they maybe they feel like you're gonna get us all killed, or you're gonna get the master mad at us because you're not playing ball, you're not saying things. A lot of these people are controlled opposition. It's just a fact. It will be exposed. 2025 to 2027, are we ripping the heads off of this pro-black controlled opposition industrial complex shit? Just so y'all know, y'all better be prepared. Y'all think y'all saw shit with that industry and that music industry? Oh, we will be doing spiritual drive-bys on the whole system, because it's just some wicked ass shit going on that just reeks of disgust in the ancestors' eyes of what people are doing down here and how they playing the shit out of people. And then the fact that what's worst is like, okay, yeah, you expect a motherfucker, you expect, a person that's not of your ethnicity or whatever to come down on you. But it's Black Americans who completely have sold out, but are trying to act like they didn't, and are trying to act like they have they are a part of like Black empowerment and stuff. And so that has to be, it will be exposed. Make no mistake about it. 2025 is the year of the reckoning. 2025 to 2027. It will not go unnoticed. We will activate certain egregores from the tribe of Judah to rain death blows spiritually on anybody that will try to destroy Black American progress, who are as an agent to Black American progress. Anybody that's controlled opposition, anybody that's getting owned by white people, that's owned by Jews and stuff. Like we just so tired of it. And the thing is, the average human can't see that. Like a spiritual being can see that. I know exactly who's the controlled opposition in this Black American community, and it would totally surprise you. And that's why we are raining death blows spiritually on. I am telling you that the entire the entire industry, not just the Hollywood industry, the politicians, the government, like we are going to destroy that controlled opposition regime, because it's disgusting, and it is an impediment to the tribe of Judah, is an impediment to Black American progress in general, because not everybody that's Black American is in a tribe of Judah. But it is a disgusting thing to see. There are people with turning a blind eye that know exactly what I'm talking about. That person that I know is that's owned by them fucking white boys tried to kill me and try to set me up. And so I'm never letting that go. And yeah, run for motherfucking cover. Seriously. And like I said, like there's Black people that I know for a fact, I've witnessed them, and I know for a fact that they are more powerful than them bloodlines. They have no money, and they are more powerful than them. They know how to teleport. They know telekinesis. They know telepathy. They know how to crisscross the different fucking dimensions in and out at will. Black Americans, poor as fuck. They would not sell out, or they walked away. They come from very powerful bloodlines. They know that there was a swiping of the bloodline. There was a complete identity swipe of Black Americans with what you guys claim is so powerful now. Somebody sold the bloodlines out. That's what we're trying to get y'all to see. They don't care for the bloodline, that the person that I'm talking about, that I know for a fact is more powerful than the stuff that I've seen. The stuff that you guys think gives you power. They don't care for fame and fortune. They know what time it is. Like I said, I've seen motherfuckers teleport and shit. It ain't even worth even talking about. Some of them played the game, they walked away. Some of them are just completely interdimensional. And some of them run recognizance missions to help others. Some of them are literally running recognizance missions, playing as a human to help other motherfuckers get out of the matrix, get out of the system. And so I know that you guys have to be brainwashed into thinking like, okay, this is what power is. This is what, And see, don't and telling you, them white folks, man, they shaking in their boots because they already know that that's not the case. I'm not talking about the average white person that's a victim of this system too. I'm not talking about white people that's groomed into SRA and groomed into this shit. I'm talking about the ones that are doing the exploiting, the ones that are doing the exploitative contracts, the ones that are lying about their identity, the ones that are lying about their power, and the ones that's living on stolen power, stolen knowledge, stolen valor. Those motherfuckers are shaking in their boots. They know that money don't mean shit. Why do you think they trying to get as much as y'all to sell y'all soul as quick as possible? Whoever they can get. They had to go to the tribe of Judah. That backfired because that bloodline is heavily guarded and protected. So yes, there are people in the tribe of Judah that made it so they sold a couple of years ago or maybe decades ago. But those that are free now, it's going to be very hard to get them to do it. And it's not because they may not want to. Even if they wanted to, it's going to get blocked because we're in a different time now. It's very deep. And so, I want to talk to a person named Sarah Sutanseti, because, and there's no beef with you at all. Actually appreciate the things that you are waking up, and shedding light on. But you had asked, like, why would they let like Jaguar Wright in the Illuminati? Like, why would she be privy to all this knowledge? Why would she be privy? Again, you have to realize that the power in this system is not money, it's kinetic energy. They created an illusion in the matrix to trick motherfuckers into thinking that it's money. But the people that really run, like y'all talk about the Black Rock, you're like, oh, y'all be so scared, y'all be, oh my gosh, it kind of it's just weird to me seeing that. Like it's so weird. But anyways, you guys say, oh, these families, Raj Childs, and they gotta get so scared and not realize that they know whose bloodlines is who. They don't and if they don't got the kinetic energy to tap into the light codes of the magic systems, they gonna go and get some niggas. Now, whether or not they trick the niggas or whether or not the niggas fall for the okie doke is on them, but they know who to go and get. Jaguar Wright is a high priestess. That's a person of a Naga serpentine bloodline. She may not even know that. I know that. I've looked at her talk. I've been watching. I said, oh shit. Yesterday, I was shook to my core. I don't get spooked easily spiritually. I never get that spook. But what I was seeing yesterday with that Orlando Brown and her interview, I was able to see the spirits on them, to see this epigenetic DNA that's inside of them, the spirits that's walking with them, who they took pacts with, oaths with, unbeknownst was Orlando Brown gets a huge pass because he was a baby, and the spirit that's on him is still the one that's, that's a whole nother, I'm not talking about him, but on Jaguar Wright, that's a whole nother Bob part. And you thinking that she playing like that lady is a priestess. She's a high priestess. She's of a Nagas serpentine bloodline and is in conjunction with a lot of Babylonian homunculus deities. It's not all good. And I gotta have to talk with her. We're gonna do another video. I have to talk with her. Because I gotta break down that last part of her and Orlando Brown's interview, because that flew over everybody's head. I know it did. It almost flew over mine. I had to, and it shook me. I don't get shooken that easily by stuff that I see, especially if you're seeing it spiritually. But yeah, she went in as a sex worker, as a dominatrix, may not have known, but they knew. They knew. You hear her voice, they knew she could sing, and they knew they was going to try to swipe that girl's destiny, and they knew that she was a high priestess. But they fucked with a Naga serpentine. She has some of her light code is of a primordial, though she got involved with some even she got some low level entity still attached to her that hopefully she gets rid of that. She had a tattoo of the Baphomet on her. So I mean, come on. I'm not just trying to be offensive here. She admits it herself. They realize that's why they letting her rock, because they realize they fucked up. It's the Nagas blood in her where they try to swipe her identity. Now, I'm not saying everything she say is correct or everything. I believe everything she say. I know that she has told the truth about some things. Do I agree with everything? No. I think, she likes to add theatric flair to the shit she be talking about, It'd be really theatric. It's entertaining, if nothing else. But there are some things that she has said that has come to light that has been truthful. Her gripes with some of the things in the industry. And so the reason why the level of protection that she has that transcends anybody of the fucking celebrity, the level of protection is she was an Illuminati member, and probably still is. That's what Orlando Brown was trying to tell you motherfuckers yesterday, by the way. Yeah. They realized that they had no business trying to swipe and steal her destiny from her. And that they fucked with, not only is she a Nagas high priestess from the Serpentine bloodlines, but also has some primordial light codes. So she knows high level science, esoteric science. She was probably even trained by some of them as well. I know she is initiated with some of their things. You know, she's did the practice. She's learned some craft, maybe from them, but she already had some things naturally in her. See, they may have known that and took advantage of that all these years. But she is a principality. She worked for their side and is now trying to jump on our side. Those doors has not been fully opened, and I'll tell her why in the next video. She's trying to jump on our side, and it works. But we're seeing some things that's a little concerning. Not everyone on our side truly trusts her yet. And that was revealed. And I'm still trying to figure out why that is. It's interesting, the codes that I got to break down about that. But when you ask SETI, like, why would they just let some jaguar right? And you got to stop thinking that, and I'm not saying you, but y'all niggas got to stop thinking that because somebody, y'all the ones that don't realize how powerful kinetic energy is. They know that. They will let a motherfucker. Now, they may still trick them out of their bag. They may even try to swipe their destiny with another motherfucker that's willing to sacrifice them. But that still don't take away from who they are in the spiritual realm. They don't take away from who the gifts that's on them and who they are epigenetically. And they sacrificed a lot of people who, for one, they had no business fucking with. These are people that are the architects of the system. Good, bad, right, or wrong. Some may not even have nothing to do with it. They still the descendants of it. They the descendants of those who created this bitch, the Matrix. Why you think Orlando Brown kept saying, you're the Matrix and the Terminator? Yeah, I mean, this motherfucker just walk in circles around people. And it's like, you supposed his goal is complete. He wants you to think he batshit crazy, and that's what y'all thinking, and that's good enough. But for those in the angel kingdom and those for the heavenly realms, we understood exactly what that motherfucker said yesterday. And it shook us to our core. It did. So he's like, damn, that's a cold motherfucker. Orlando Brown is a cold motherfucker. And he has to speak in 45D and have y'all all saying he crazy. And I can't even break down everything he was saying just to protect his life. Because now we talking about principalities and God realm communicating with the demonic realm. You know, it's a lot going on. And it's hard when you see that, you see it, and you can't make anybody else see that. You can't make anybody other human see that shit. But Sarasun said when they be allowing up, and again, you got to figure a lot of them people in military be high up in the Illuminati too, SETI. It's not always about fame and fortune. It'll be a motherfucker that's high up in the Illuminati, that's a part of military or a part of intelligence. And they are occult bloodlines. They still have their kinetic energy, or they may have walked away, or they may have been blackmailed. They got caught doing some sherm shit, and they fucked up in a fucked up deal. Or if they in Black Venetian nobility, even though that's a powerful bloodline and even more powerful than the bloodlines that y'all give the power to, they're corrupt as fuck. They're Draco reptilians. And they know how to blend in with Black Americans very fucking well. Too deep. I know we're not there yet. We're too deep. But they ain't got no problem letting no Naga Serpentine high priestess run shit. They letting her run wild. They sending her out here to talk all this shit. And that's what Orlando Brown was kind of like, are you really on our side? Or, you know, he's speaking in code. But he wanted his dimension to know. He wanted our side that was kind of like still like it's pretty much they don't fully trust her yet. And so we'll have to see where that goes. We'll have to see where that goes. But there are Black people that are principalities. This whole universe is mental, and this whole universe is a frequency, and this even 3D is not matter. It's still a density, but it's not matter in the sense that you think. It's still vibrating on a level where you perceive it as physical. And so that means that beings can come up in and out of this bitch to appear physical world, and they really not. Phantom, a mirage, a hologram. That's what that means. And I'm telling you that there are Black Americans that do that. There are Africans that do that. There are Caribbeans that do that. There are white people that do that. It is what it is. Now, this requires a spiritual mind to understand what I'm saying. And so when you see like they'll come and get some random ass Black motherfucker, and you saying, well, why would they let them in their loop? She's saying they know all this stuff about this and they know all this stuff. You'll be surprised. They need her. They need melanated people to get them rituals done. Obviously, they don't have no issues going to get the melanated kids, but when it comes to the priestesses and understanding them light codes and that information, you know the levels of angelic language, Nagas language, secret languages that's not even human. They're the only Black motherfuckers can understand that shit, or they the ones about speaking in tongues. There are different levels of speaking in tongues, and it's not just the ones that you see in the church. Ding dong and no, hell no. We're talking about Atlantean tongue, Pleiadian tongue, Lemurian tongue, Luciferian tongue, 125D tongue, the tongues of the archangels. This stuff is very deep. They hide this stuff. You saw the writings of Melachim is angels was an angel language. That's what's all you see on the Solomonic keys. This is what the Masons use: greater key and lesser key of Solomon. They used to use that. I mean, the reason why the greater key of Solomon had got out was because they thought that it was like antiquated stuff. But yeah, certain bloodlines, they are the creators of that system, and they can tap into it, and it will work for them way more than the people that are corrupt. And so they can switch over the whole matrix system just from just that alone if they are the bloodline. As far as like discarding, like Sarah Soon said, I know you said like, are they going to use is Illuminati going to use P Diddy to get rid of the Black celebrities that are Black Hollywood? And as far as them discarding them, they sold their kinetic energy or whatever deals they made or wherever the game they went to play. Some of them may have did it knowingly, unknowingly, or were born into it or sold into it or deceived into it. Some willingly knew what they were doing and continued to do. But did you ever think that this was judgment for selling out their own people and working with that Babylonian Luciferian system? So I'll say this. Imagine if God gives you everything that you already have, your gifts. You already got it, your prana, your kinetic energy. You already got this amazing gifts. And the first thing that these people thought to do was not to help their community. The first thing they thought to do was to sell out their motherfucking community. To sell out other people like DMX, to set up motherfuckers like Tupac. Could you imagine where the Black community would be had all of that talent stayed insular and they decided to work? Dame Dash started Rockefeller. Dame Dash knows how to start a business. So you got Dame Dash. Imagine if they all decided to just follow the fucking leader, which would have been a Dame Dash. And you got say P. Diddy knows how to scout talent. So he would have been an AR. I mean, just imagine this. Let's reconstruct the whole thing, but this is all just Black owned, not owned by no Jews, not owned by no contracts, no demons, no occult, just raw talent that God gave his people, her people. We got Dame Dash. We know that Dame Dash has light codes, very powerful light codes in his blood. Indigenous royalty, as well as some light codes from, I'm not going to get into all his business. I don't want nobody getting mad at me, but it's very obvious. So Dame Dash knows how to start a business, start Rockefellers, know how to distribute and hustle. He gets his hustle on how to make that music. You know, he wasn't really doing the music, but he knows how to start a label. Right, boom, got Dame Dash. 100% owned, Black owned. They know how to sell clothes, they know how to hustle, sell drugs, whatever. They hustle, they know how to do this. Dame Dash. Imagine if nobody had got jealous and wanted to cut him out. What if P Diddy and Dame Dash decided to work together, and Jay Z, and then Tupac. Imagine if Tupac didn't get set up by these black motherfuckers that got jealous of him to kill him, and the white structure. See, again, we're talking about. I'm not going to defend people who I know discarded our community and worked with that system. And now they get fucked over by that system. We changing and we don't took over, the black people don't took over back over the mainframe. And yeah, there is a shakeup. And yeah, there is going to be. My thing is, if y'all still thinking that black people don't got no power, then that's on you. Because I'm just literally telling y'all that those bloodline families still have to answer to interdimensional beings, and they are melanated. And you're going to still see black people in power. Always going to see that. Celebrities, unfortunately, are always been low on a totem pole. They always been considered the monarch slaves. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think everybody is a star. I think every human is a star. I think every species is a star. But those bloodlines don't. And so they try to control them. And when they act up, they take away the it's not a good deal. But just imagine had they not went the route of, oh, I want to be the head nigga in charge and be the one that could be to get the CEO position and get to act like they the record, the part of the bad boy label, but you're still owned by, say, Universal Records, or a white person is still behind it, distributing and part of the brand and in charge of everything. Imagine if they didn't go that route. Sarah Soon said, imagine if they just rolled with Dame Dash and say, like, say for instance with Tupac. We all know Tupac was trying to get out of that and realize, like, oh shit, this is some whole other shit. And that they've been watching that boy since he was 8. So he was groomed since he was 8 by the government to go into that system, and it still wasn't enough to keep him because of the ancestors on him said it was gonna wake him up and say no. But Tupac is a community organizer. Tupac knows how to organize, and Tupac is a genius at, believe it or not, connecting with children. Now I know a lot of you guys may not know that, but like, had Tupac been able to get to where he needed to get or do what he needed to do, there wouldn't have been a kid in America that wouldn't love Tupac. White or black, Latina, Asian. It wouldn't have been a kid that would not love Tupac. Tupac is an excellent organizer. And so imagine, you got P. Diddy know how to scout talent. P. Diddy, Tupac knows how to organize. Dame Dash knows how to start business and keep a business. Jay-Z is a griot storyteller with words and fast mind processing. And then you got all the other plethora of other black men as talented. You got DMX. DMX was a genius, very talented. Imagine if all those black men just would have decided to work together, build something very powerful. Maybe they would have came after them, but that doesn't matter. The principle, it was what matters, and the power behind it. What if they work clandestine with one another, and as they own order, to look out for their own communities, and to build infrastructures, powerful industries for themselves, that they, no matter, no matter what the consequences were, they got all that level of talent, and the God already put the gifts on them. Now imagine that. No, people got jealous, wanted to kill DMX. People got jealous, wanted to kill Tupac. People got jealous, wanted to kill Biggie. People got jealous, wanted to kill Nipsey Hussle. This is serious shit. And so I don't feel no sympathy, Sarah Susetti, for a motherfucker that will sell out our community. Go straight to them motherfuckers, and then you get mad. Now you want to complain about them. Well, we already had told y'all. You can't sit up there and dance with that devil, make a deal with the devil. You should never make a deal with the devil, but you go sit up there and dance with him, and then be sleeping with him too, catering to him, selling your own people out, sacrificing motherfuckers for him. And then when they slam the hammer down, they don't have no use for them people in this new system that we about to do. Seti, they don't have any. No, they don't have anything for them. They're tired and they want to walk away too. They probably just as tired and don't even say fuck it too. And so if their contracts are got to be up, or they don't want to renew the contract or whatever, or they want to walk away, that the price is most likely if they're trying to walk away from them, Sarah said they are going to make an example out of them and put all their shit out on blast, all the embarrassing shit they did, crucify them and take them out the game. Some of them are going to fake their death. Some of them are going to get set up. Some of them are rightfully going to get vindicated because they are victims, and then some of them are going to get they ass tore out the frame because they was doing some fucked up sherm shit. It's as simple as that. Sarah Suicide. And so, like, if the Hollywood machine wanted to churn them all out, which they about to get up these white boys too. Y'all don't understand that P Diddy is still a Black American who is globally known. So you don't know about the CIA officer who just got 30 years, who did the same thing as him, that just got convicted just last week, 2 weeks ago. Y'all don't know about that. Y'all don't know about all these other low level politicians that y'all just focus on. Eric Adams. There was a bunch of politicians that resigned that were white. There's politicians that offed themselves, that unalived themselves after P. Diddy got arrested. White motherfuckers. And we saying it's a change of guard, it's a change of guard. You're gonna see white people get all up in there. You see a lot of motherfuckers leaving the country. A lot of these people gonna leave because to countries that don't got extradition rules. Some of them already done went underground and shit. Some of them gonna be retiring, never to be seen or heard of really again, white and Black. See, Russell Simmons was motherfucking smart. He said he went to Bali. Was he in Bali? And see the level of that's how you know that P. Diddy just knew he was untouchable. I mean, he was walking around NYC up until the last minute. They had got him in that hotel because he's a principality. Sarah said he's a principality. He is clicked in, and he did not think that he didn't really see that coming, because you can't walk up on principalities like that, whether they for the dark side or for God's side. You ain't walking up on a principality like that. You gotta have some we talking about to lock them up, walk them up to motherfucking lock them up, whether they on the dark side or on God's side. Very hard to do. Very hard to do. You really got to be working on them. Like when they came and locked my motherfucking, that they did powerful work on the likes. I didn't even know witchcraft could be that motherfucking powerful on your ass. I had no idea the spells, them type of spells could like that. Like that shit is real. Whew. Good God, to be able to have to fight witchcraft off like that, and you know it's a COVID, and you could see, especially if you could remote view, and you see them working doing ceremonial spells on your motherfucking ass. And see, what P. Diddy's case though, they had to do the opposite, because he's such a principality that's filled with legion, that they probably had to fast and fucking pray for fucking the whole month just to run up on him. They had to have some real power, and they had to have 5 white boys run up on him. And you see the way they were circling him, they kind of look even scared. You can't just run up on a principality like that, good, bad, right, or wrong. You should see when people was trying to harass me and all this shit. The second time, the first time they was able to really break through my protection. You know, I'm like, I never knew something like that, so I said, let me get my shit together. And they did it the second time, or they try to run up. You start to speak in your tongue, you'll see a motherfucker bolt run the opposite direction. You literally see someone trying to fuck with you, run, and you'll look them in their eyes and communicate something through your mind to their eyes. You see them start shaking and paralyzed with fear, and they'll run. And I've seen this. And I've seen how I've had to crack matrices. I had to do certain things on my own to fight the level of witchcraft that I was going through. So I've seen some shit. So I know that this shit is real. And we talk about him being a principality, and them white boys had to run up on him in that hotel. Oh, they had to have some power on high. Like they had to probably fast. They probably had to pray, because I'm surprised they didn't go and get no other Black men to go and get them. They had to, you ain't just running up on them like that. Oh, no principality. None of them. You got to prepare for that. Sometimes years in advance, months in advance, days in advance, whatever. We talking about where you can go and actually lock them up and bind them up like that. Some New York City county jail, and he don't offer 50 million, and they still saying no. This is very serious and very spiritual, and ain't got nothing to do with no race, and it ain't got nothing to do with none of the low level shit these humans is thinking of. This is violations of ancestry rights, blood rights, contracts, violations of motherfuckers' energy rights, energy deficits that must be fulfilled. And yes, Black ancestors and Black spirits that's fucking pissed off at P. Diddy. And they don't give a damn that he in no white jail. because they feel like, bitch, you walked in they shit. We spent 500 years building y'all niggas up, 400 years in the crucible and fucked over to build y'all up, to give y'all our gifts, to sacrifice for y'all. And the first thing y'all went to go do was go in a system and screw over other Black Americans. P. Diddy screwed over multiple Black Americans. All them Black people are not fucking lying. We heard about it for 20 years. Sorry, someone said it. You know that yourself. And what they said about Tupac and what they said about Bloom, Shine, Black Rob, Toto, 112, Kim Porter, Craig Mack, everybody you can motherfucking think of. That ain't no damn normal thing, man. It's people that like and then you might have pissed off them white boys and Saturn's Cube and Black Rock. No, but that contract was up anyways. He wanted to play a murder reality chess game, the last chess move that he had in a little 20D game. He played his last move, said he. That was the last move that he could play. He sued and won and thought maybe, he was going to get the backing and enough power from his order to be able to fight off that white boy witchcraft. When I'm coming at them with them fucking charges and using the blackmail that they know, the shit that the dirt that they know he did, and the fact that he fucked over and didn't give a shit about his community. You think them white boys don't know that? They know that they don't give a shit about no Black community. So they said, okay, we got a lot of ammunition, we got incentive, we got energy to really lock this, to really get at him, because his community. And I'm not about to sit up there and own and lend my kinetic energy to that, because I didn't see where has he ever sacrificed for our Black community. I've sacrificed a lot for this community, and I still didn't get anything about it. And in fact, people that work with P. Diddy who try to set me up on some COINTELPRO type shit, and it brought into this fake ass COINTELPRO pro Black industrial complex shit that's going on. And we about to literally tear the frame out of this shit. Give us 2 years, like we about to tear it all down. And so the righteous will prevail. Those that's really genuine in this space will prevail. Like like Black American progress is in melanated progress is important at this time. Bloodlines are being given back to certain inheritors, blood rights rather, birthrights are being activated. We don't have time for this sellout Hollywood bullshit, Seti. And I know you ain't got nothing to do with that. And I'm not saying that you was even defending them. You weren't, but you asked that question. Is they using P. Diddy to bring down the Black Hollywood? Did you ever think it was judgment for all that bullshit they was doing? And again, the white people is getting it up too. Y'all want to focus on the Black. We Black, so yeah, we gonna focus on P. Diddy. It's what they about to get at that dude from WWE. They about to get a lot of them white boys. They about to get at him. Some of them are already on a chopping block. They just know to get the fuck out of town. Tom Hanks, they know how to get out. They leave in the country. They leave in the country as we speak. Eddie. These even the white girls is leaving the country as we speak. They already know what time it is. See, P. Diddy, he know he the head dog. And so he stayed. He like, these motherfuckers can't do shit to me because I got all this shit on their heads. I run this city. Tell the cops and the come get it. I run this city. That's what this motherfucker think. He know he a principality. He know he drunk high off of the souls of other motherfuckers. Do you ever know what that looks like when you can look at somebody? I mean, he's totally gone. But man, that nigga that tried to set me up, I was looking at his eyes and I'm looking at his energy and I'm like, he is living off of stolen energy. He is really living off of the theft of other people's birthrights. And you could see that they sit up on it and they drunk off of it. I could see through that. See, spiritual people could see through that. But the average Black American, I don't know what the hell they looking for. They desperate or something, but they can't see that. They can't see that this person is totally sold the fuck out. And gone. It will sell them out the moment that they get. But I'm just saying, Sadie, like, imagine God gives you all them gifts, and the first thing you think to go do is to go, and that was the situation. All of them could have worked together. Imagine if all them Black men worked together, Sadie. DMX. And see, again, Dame Dash is cool in my book because he stayed solid throughout the whole time. He saw some things and said, hell no, I'm not playing that game. I don't like that. I got my own. I could do my own. Now, that means they're going to shadow ban you. They're going to fuck with you. Or at worst, like what they did with Tupac and Nipsey Hussle. And Tupac was an organizer, so he would have organized all of the Black Americans. I know that for a fact. Tupac is an organizer, natural organizer, naturally gifted with children. I know that for a fact. Them kids loved some Tupac. I mean, I'm saying if he was to really show how he organizes and show his skills of organizing that black community, and you don't think they knew that? You don't think the government knew that? Just like how they know this shit about me, and how they blacklist me, and how they got that nigga that's owned by them white Jews to put it all in place with the help of them other sellout niggas that's acting like they pro-black. And I'm telling you, we gonna run down on them. We running down on them. Our ancestors. They sit up there trying to act like they care about Frances Cress Welsing. Frances Cress Welsing don't care about you sellout niggas. She don't. She realized, like, man, y'all niggas is gone. Especially after what y'all tried to do to me. I don't know why y'all think y'all got away with that. I'm not talking to you, Seti. I'm not talking to you. I don't know why the fuck y'all think y'all got away with that. I really don't. I'm baffled. I have shown time and time again that I've been on the money with certain things, whether it been behind the scenes or just literally clearly showing publicly that on some level that I am clairvoyant, that though I don't know everything, and I always admit that. And so when I say that our ancestors is going to completely and utterly destroy that fake pro-black controlled opposition community, that's what I meant. And we won't stop at nothing until it gets done. And we will use the highest of highest primordial power and spirits to get it done. And we got the backing of levels you have never seen. We will not stop until that gets destroyed, because that is the biggest impediment, even more than a fucking black boule. I can now strategize and run circles around that black boule, but that the spell and the damage that's being done to the black community is coming from the fake pro-black controlled opposition that's owned by the Masons and those Jews, them Jewish white boys. Is that. And it's, again, it's a group of them that we already know. We got a list of. Seti, you are not on that list. I don't think I'm directing none of this shit towards you, because I'm not. But we looking. We have assessed enough. And them niggas try to kill me and try to switch the karma. They wanted to steal my kinetic. They try to blood sacrifice me and switch the kinetic energy and give me their karma. And they try to literally switch a jacket. It's called mirror casting, and it didn't work. And I had to fight that off. And I'm gonna still fight that off. And like I said, we not stopping at nothing. We really, that is totally up for that. And anybody that covered for him, knowing what he did and knowing that he used the occult sciences illegally on somebody that's uninitiated to run a COINTELPRO Project Phoenix type psychotronics and radionics and whatever else access he got to their systems as a fucking agent. And so yeah, we ain't stopping at nothing until that get exposed. Y'all niggas gonna wake up, because y'all think we playing with y'all. Y'all sit up there and want to be ass kissing to this system. Y'all fucking sellouts, and y'all weak, and we tired of it. How could you sit up there and act like you rolling with Malcolm X or rolling with Frances Cress Welsing, rolling with these ancestors, and that's how y'all carry on? The first thing you think to go do is to talk about is to go join a system and act like Hollywood is under attack. Black Hollywood is getting under attack by white supremacy, and you sitting up there working with them, and you've been in Hollywood for 25 years, and you work with P. Diddy, and you probably on them tapes, and you got a still record for being in a system. And you work with them people to sell our people out, to distract them and to get them worked up over shit that don't matter. And it's sad, just for some money. It's really horrific. But if they would have if all them powerful ass black men that were at natural talent and natural kinetic energy would have just stuck together and continue as black men, decided to just build Rockefeller, their own clothing line, their own record labels, their own distribution, their own books, their own education, their own systems, they would be so much powerful had they went that route than with them folks. Even if they had to go and shut up shop somewhere else because they came under persecution in America. They could have probably penetrated their systems on levels unseen had they realized how powerful their soul is. That means you could lay your whole dimension on top of a dimension. No matter what the CIA or whatever try to do to you. Why do you think I talk so reckless? Like I said, the moment something happened to me and I croak over, this whole system collapses. And you will know that it is one person behind it. The day that I die, and I know that it's illegal, whether that be through the poison in this system, they just did a little poison power plant up there that I live by, the little biolab. Something happened to me, and I know it's on like Donkey Kong. We talking solar flares, earth cracking in half, all types of crazy ass shit. Your systems will free fall of the likes you have never seen. Your systems will shut down. Every satellites will shut down. Yeah, that type shit. I'll say what the fuck I'm gonna say. Interdimensionally, you get enough people to work together, your frequency is higher than anything on this planet. This is a 3D dimension, 4D that can't even get past 20D at the highest levels. What the fuck is y'all doing being scared, talking about the blood, the families gonna come after you? If the motherfucker can't get past 20D and you supposedly, the thing is y'all sold y'all soul and that y'all can't get past to them levels. Y'all can't even fuck with them people because y'all under fucking contracts with them. And so they technically own your kinetic energy. They technically own your marker. So when they zap your ass or activate you on that blacklist, activate you on that, and they start gang stalking you and harassing you and fucking with you, and they can cause all sonar wave beams and DEWs to fuck with you, all types of shit when you don't want to play ball. But they have more power over you if your frequency is low. They ain't got no kinetic energy over you if you free and if your frequency is higher. And so my question to you, Sauron says, Eddie, is why should I defend Diddy when he spent 30 years screwing over Black Americans for that white system? Even if they are using it to tear it down, which you don't even know about all that stuff at the highest levels, which you do, but you got to understand that it's spiritual, sweetie, that this is not what you think this is about. And just because we had the more popular social capital, because P. Diddy is the biggest star out of everybody that we know so far that's about to be hemmed up. We got Epstein and Weinstein out the way, but there's going to be more. There's going to be more. You are going to see people disappear. He may even get off. And my thing is, I do think he deserves a free trial, a fair trial, and evidence to match up. Fair evidence, fair trial, and all that shit. Don't just come making up shit and make it up and get it all out there. Don't just make one person a fall guy. Talk about all the motherfuckers. Because he was backed by intelligence agents. I don't care what nobody say. They shut me off the air the last time I started getting that deep, but I was born at night, but I wasn't born last motherfucking night. You ain't gonna come with 120 random motherfuckers saying that. Where was the police reports? Where is the hospital bills? Where is the hospital case or write up or whatever? Where they went after they got assaulted and whatnot. That means it was a network behind it. If they are the victims, that's a network that's had to cover all that up all these years. So you're not about to just put him up there on the chopping block. And trust me, there are many. Again, you have to Google resignations and political resignations and political indictments. Y'all just want to focus on Eric Adams, and that's that pro-black controlled opposition network doing that. But I'm letting you know now that I already looked it up and covered it on my channel. All them damn mayors that resigned and all them city council officials that resigned all over the country. Didn't make the mainstream news, but it's news. Just Google it. The same time that P. Diddy got arrested. So I'm not, if you spend 30 years screwing over your own people, fucking white people in the ass, you getting fucked in the ass by them, you was living it up, living it large, making billions of dollars together with them. You made those deals, you slept with them, you loved them. Now that they tossed your ass, or y'all got into a disagreement and you wanted to sue and whatever, and now we supposed to care again. And no, it don't work that way. It do not work that way, Sarah Sunseti. It just doesn't. Why would I forgive someone that is behind it, the killing of Tupac, and friends with someone that I know tried to kill me? That agent was going to be put on when they started to come in the reparation space in 2022. That agent was about to get a show on Revolt by that nigga. And that's when I'm one that's literally talking about they trying to blood sacrifice me, and I'm running around because I knew that it was I could see all this stuff spiritually. And so I already know that this is much deeper. And I know that was a no-no. Because they was putting me up on that chopping block. They was flying out people in a reparation space, SETI, to the fucking revolt, to the Diddy parties. realize that after that situation happened in August 2022 with me, nothing has been the same in that space. Nothing has been the same for none of that shit. Or even the person that tried to line me up. He wanted to line me up and swipe that connect. Now, I'm not talking about PDD. I'm talking about the person that worked with him. The person that known him for 25 years. The person that was in his videos. The person that's acting like a pro-black revolutionary when he's not. He don't give a shit about black people. But they want to come, they don't call out nothing else. These people work with Liar Cohen, Lucian Grange, all these motherfuckers. Why didn't y'all say nothing then? Why didn't he say any? Why is every 3 days he coming to beg the Black American community to defend Diddy? Why didn't he say nothing then? When our shit was getting sold out, when the music was getting sold out, when people was getting screwed over. When people were coming forward, when that black lady was saying that P. Diddy shot her in the face this whole time, when people was coming forward, when that lady said that he beat the fuck out of her and lied on her and blacklisted her, when Tiffany Red came forward, why didn't that nigga check him in since he cares so much about Black Americans? If you care so much about Black Americans, why didn't you check P. Diddy in? And that's your friend and you knew him for 25 years. So why do you think that it's okay to come around to Black Americans and try to get us to defend him? And again, I'm not addressing this to you, Seti, at all. That's some weak ass nigga shit. I could see that play. And I'm telling you, like, the curses, it's like a black ass cloud over this community from these niggas. And I'm telling you, it's up. Especially after what they tried to do to me. It's up. We never letting up. This system, we will completely destroy this entire planet. Like, we are not playing. And if you didn't have nothing to do with it, you're gonna go to another IPU. That's a simulation. Or you guys go to heaven, whatever you guys want to believe. But y'all fuck with the right one. Now, the whole body of work speaks for itself. Y'all want to blacklist and shadow ban, that's fine. There will be upcomings though. Nobody gets away with nothing. Nobody gets away with anything. And if I had to suffer and be lied on and be crucified and get fucked with for some bitch ass Mason niggas that's trying to act pro-black, then this whole system got to rock. And everybody cover for them, and I don't ever get vindication when I know that these motherfuckers was doing some fucked up shit to me. And just because I'm spiritual and priestess, and just because they got plausible deniability, because we know that Masons are occultists, they get to hide that shit because they occultists. And they have been trained 30, 50 years. Small people in their 60s old enough to be my father that know psychotronics, know how to teleport. I watched a family member fucking teleport. I know that this shit is real. And they get to fuck with you on the spiritual realm, and you won't have no evidence if you come forward and talk about it. But they could fuck with you and try to make you seem crazy. That's some wicked ass shit. That's Black Ops, COINTELPRO shit, a part of Project Phoenix. That always involves the occult. Because now we're getting into MK Ultra rituals. And you know that these Masons are occultists. And so I'm screaming from the rooftop, trying to warn these Black communities. And it's like they trying, I don't know what kind of spell y'all under or what kind of shit y'all under, but now everything got to rock because y'all want to be some unrighteous ass, wicked ass niggas, jealous ass niggas. Everything got to rock now. Everything got to fall because of wickedness. And I can't stand wickedness because the righteousness has to prevail. Any moment, anytime you got a moment where somebody wants to help motherfuckers and people want to help one another, and you got a system that will prevent that from happening, that will lock you up, lock you down, lie on you, try to get you to sign wicked contracts and wicked oaths to a fucking satanic system. That's a wicked ass system. We must kill that system. We must take no prisoners. We must have no mercy. We must not ever negotiate with the wicked. They fight us. They want to kill us. They come after us with a vengeance. I'm not playing with these motherfuckers. Y'all can sit up there and play them games with them and get y'all asses tore out the frame. I have the kinetic energy of more than a star, more than a constellation. Okay? Of a galaxy. I even have the kinetic energy of certain creatures and deities, which we call archetypes and octaves of resonances. I talk about that in my book. And I taught y'all about Zygote spirit turning, which is the work of the dragon riders, is a science that we created. That's above the Atlantean dimension. Abraxas teaches that. Abraxas gives the clearance for who gets to become a spiritual chimera. Spiritual chimeras have more kinetic energy than humans and than fallen angels. And any of those little bloodline families that y'all love to be so scared about, and any of the corporations y'all love to talk about with, the corporations answer to my motherfucking dimension. They naming themselves after Saturn. All of these corporations and their logos is named after my shit. After my people. They got bloodlines. What the fuck is y'all doing? Why are y'all so pussy like that? Why don't y'all, and y'all get mad at me and y'all hate me? I hate you too because y'all some weak ass motherfuckers. That's some weak ass shit, man. And again, I'm not talking about you, Seti, because again, I like you were one of the last motherfucking Mohicans. And I pray to God I don't have to eat these words. You one of the last motherfucking Mohicans out here still stumping on truth and still standing on shit, man. These people out here are selling out for $1 and selling a booty hole for $1 that's about to, I mean, the whole system about to collapse. I'm not saying $1 about to collapse because we can control some of the elements of what's going on here, but they selling out for a system that they literally is changing the whole guard on. And they doing it at the last minute because them homunculus deities want blood at the last minute. So they ain't about to go out without a fight. So if somebody's stupid enough and they trick them, that's on them. But we trying to tell motherfuckers like, look, we done changed the whole system. If I message somebody, Seti, that worked for P. Diddy, August 14, 2023. And I got the email to prove it, that we are changing the guard. Now, regardless of how crazy you think it sounds, I'm a spiritual being. Everything has come to pass. Everything has come to pass that I said. What happened? It happened. And more and more and more is going to happen. More and more and more is going to happen. I don't get what the hell y'all think this is. If I said we changing the guard and we ended your dimension and we about to tear down this entertainment. If I said that the entertainment industry, we said that in 2023, and it's documented, and it comes to pass, then what does that mean? How did I know? And then I'm able to do that on a weekly basis with my tarot videos. Use probability distribution science to program the algorithmic matrix through tarot, quote unquote. Oh, goodness gracious. Laugh now, cry later. That's all I got to say. And now we want to talk about Chimera spirits. Again, Chimera spirits have the highest kinetic energies because they transcend creatures. Like we talk about chimeras, you guys talk about, you know, like, oh, a chimera is like maybe a lion, like the griffin, a lion, and a bird together, or whatever. And there are people that do illegal experimentations with animal genetic splicing to try to create, you know, different creatures on planet Earth, right? In 3D level. But imagine if you could do that spiritually. That happens spiritually. And that's called zygote spirit churning. I'll give an example of a chimera spirit or a chimera creature. Dragons. Dragons are the result. You see them fly, you see the reptilian, you see this half bird. That's a chimera energy. And it's a very primordial energy. It is one of the most primordial chimera spirits on the planet. In existence, actually. A dragon. That's why in every culture you see dragons. Every culture talks about dragons. This mythical flying creature, right? We ain't never see it fly. But it has some root in something. It's deep. So Chimera spirits is pretty much the zygote churning, which is the spirit churning of specific constellations, star systems, deities, which we call archetypes, and octaves of resonance. You mix them together to create a spirit chimera. Then you can descend it to wherever dimension the mission is to send them. That could be planet Earth. That could be another planet. Dragons got their own dimension, but they have came down, and that's why read Psalms 18 in that Bible and tell me if that's not a motherfucking dragon flying down. In fact, I should go get it and read it right now. Fly upon the wings of the wind and the breath of that blasted thy nostrils and the fire breathing. It's talking literally about a fire breathing dragon. Sometimes when shit get real, them motherfuckers come down. They come get your ass. Look at the book of Enoch. Look at every religious text talk about some damn dragon somewhere that flew out of nowhere when they was when the certain bloodline that comes from a Nagai serpentine was under attack. That's primordial. That is completely innocent and completely righteous. And them Draco motherfuckers, That's when Big Dog comes down. What do you think happened in July of 2023? That's when Big Dog comes down, either through quantum entanglement, and we about to start we just tired. Like when I say we tired of hiding, we so motherfucking tired of hiding, we tired of the weakness, burying the head in the sand, we tired of the lies. We like shit. Let's go back to the days of Enoch. Let's go back to the days of motherfucking Egypt. Let's go back to the days of the Mahabharata. Let's do it. I'm so that's where I'm at with it, because we don't even have time to really like try to explain this shit. Like we just got to just start showing our power, and we just really got to just start. And I don't know, Project Bluebeam shit. Like you gonna see like this. We got to just crack shit open and send these beings down. Like you got to actually see them. Right now, most of these humans can't see them. But yeah, a kinetic, a chimera spirit, and I am a chimera spirit, and I talk about the octaves of resonances that I am mixed with. That was willed through my ancestors, Black American ancestors who come from certain priesthood, royal military priesthood, as well as the Order of Melchizedek and Chaldean Magi. Just because y'all think, just because you think everybody was we had a history of slavery. But do you go back, you go way past for them 300, 400 years. And some of us, honestly, you were Black American, you've been here, and your ass is Sephardic Moor, or, a treacherous royal Sephardic Moor, a treacherous royal American Indian that sold out the other motherfuckers to get yourself, to get out. You were never a slave. Yes, there are Black Americans that are descendants of those people. You were never a slave. Some of you were not. But you were Black, you were free Black people of color, free person of color that been on here. And maybe you weren't always, I'm not saying everybody that did it was a sellout, but I'm saying like for the Sephardic Moors that set up shop over here, a lot of them did do some fucked up shit. And the ones that didn't want to play ball, they got put in slavery, like my bloodline did. And then mine was a part of it and then walked away. So if you walk away, you go end up just like the rest of the niggas too. And that's fine too. But just because, you'll have the history of like slavery for a couple hundred years, if you descend from that, don't take away from your ancestral fucking epigenetics. Don't take away from your star family. Don't take away from your galactic family. Don't take away from the dimension you originally come from. Don't take away from your ancestral powers that may have been the literal architects of this whole fucking matrix. Black people created these matrices, this dimension, this simulation that you see. And it was as an adversarial potentiator. And yes, there was a war. And yes, the men did overthrow the Queen Mothership. And yes, they did make pacts and create genetic splicing, homunculus deities. And they even experimented on Black women. So why these Black women's out of their motherfucking mind to this day with their weak asses too. It's a lot of weakness. And I can't work with that kind of energy. It's like you gotta be a fighter to the death. You gotta be a god to the end. You gotta believe in yourself to the motherfucking end. You gotta fight to the end. And you gotta speak truth to the end. You cannot compromise with these people. They gotta do what you say. And you gotta have a kinetic energy to get up there though. But if you sell out or you sign these contracts, you get these deals with them, no deal. You ain't getting up there because you gotta be completely free. And you can get free even if you're not free, but y'all don't want to walk, y'all, and I ain't telling nobody what to do. You don't walk away. Do whatever you want to do, because when we rain down on this bitch, we mean what we say. If you get caught up, you get caught up in the crosshairs. We don't care. Do whatever you feel that you need to do. But don't get mad at a motherfucker that want to be free. Why are you trying to block a motherfucker that want to be free? And then all you're gonna do is back them in the corner. They get mad enough, and now we gotta open up portals. Now I gotta rain down a whole fucking dimension on y'all asses because y'all keep fucking with me, lying on me, trying to line my ass up, kill me. I don't think people, maybe they trying to do that still, maybe they not, but I still can't take no chances. And I also still gotta heal because there's a lot of anger. I ain't never cut a deal with no system or nothing. But when I said that they got to do what we say, I mean that shit. I don't care how crazy it looks. Interdimensional shit is real. You don't think I can go and look in somebody's mind right now if I wanted to. I do it all the time with my clients when they allow me to, when they give me permission to. look inside their mind and it can see what the fuck they think and see what the hell they going on, do it. And then if I have to do that to program this matrix, then so fucking be it. Because I don't mean no harm to nobody, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody is taken care of. The righteous prevail, that justice reigns. You don't think I can see what the hell was going on up there at them high levels that y'all claim is so high? That y'all claim is that y'all so scared of because y'all talk about the money? Y'all don't think I can see what's going on in a motherfucking head? What's going on? Y'all don't think I can read, motherfucker? Like, are y'all crazy? And so if I gotta go in there and plant a thought or a psychotronic implant a motherfucking outcome that I want to see on this bitch, that's what the hell I'm gonna do. I ain't working with the system. You have to program this system, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Program this bitch. Lay your kinetic energy on this bitch. Force your will on this bitch. That's fair and in balance and in guidance with universal law, ancestral law, law of water, law of God. So Chimeras spirits had that kinetic energy. Whether it be the dragon spirits, some are even compared, looking at look like humans. Yeshua was a Chimera spirit. There are many. Osiris a Chimera spirit. It's nothing new. Tahuti's a Chimera spirit. Excuse me. It's nothing new. Chimera spirits get created. They get sanctioned through a certain committee of 99. It has to go through very powerful orders because that's a lot of power to give an entity. You can't just give an entity and then there's other deities that will give you octaves of their residences, whether that be Yeshua's residence, Kalima, Ganesh, Hanuman, whoever residence need that you need. If they got to give an octave of it to you to do this spirit turning ritual, create a motherfucking human, send it down to wherever it got to go, planet Earth. That's what the fuck they gonna do. And I'm telling you that that's what has happened. And it has to go through certain clearances, training, all of that. Because you do get free will. But I've earned that as Jenny Nunn Stanley through all the bullshit that y'all put me through, that this government put me through. Illegal shit that I know that this government has done. Illegal shit that people sold me out. My own people sold me out, and they know they did. That's why they quiet. Because they know what the fuck they did, and they know that they're fake. And it's shameful. But like I said, nobody get away with nothing because we are going to rain thunderbolts on everybody that was involved. We will not stop until justice reigns, until them motherfuckers is exposed. Because they are the biggest impediment to black progress. It ain't no damn, I'm telling you, them people that stick what they own and mind their business, like them boule niggas that just let you know that they ain't about to do shit for you, and you just know it, and you stay out their way, they stay out your motherfucking way. They ain't no threat to me. It's a nigga that's acting like they pro-black. It's the niggas that's acting like they ready to do something. It's the niggas that's acting like they know how to plan stuff, like they acting like they know how to organize shit, and they know good and hell well they don't know shit. And they hurry up and kill all the real deals like a Nipsey Hussle or a Darren Sills, and they set up motherfuckers like they'll set up a real deal like me and blacklist me or whatever because they know they can't kill me even though they tried. And I'm telling you, it's all nothing but controlled opposition with these wicked ass niggas. And I could just feel the disgust of the ancestors. I don't care how much they tell you they about to look at they about to do something to honor Francis Cress West or whatever they gonna do. I'm telling you now that lady don't give a shit about none of that stuff y'all talking about because they see it. We can see what's going on. Y'all can hide from these motherfuckers. Y'all can hide from the average black American. You can't hide from the spirit world. You can't hide what you really about from God. You can't hide that you a satanic ass nigga that's setting up people and doing wicked ass shit, that you've been in Hollywood for 25 years getting your ass fucked too, and probably on them tapes. See, now you can hide that from the average black American. You can't hide that from no damn spirit world. You can't hide that from no primordial fucking dragons. You can't hide that from Lucifer. You can't hide that from the demon kingdom or the angel kingdom. You can't hide that from the heavenly realm or the underworld. You can't hide that. We see everything. We know what the fuck y'all doing. And we don't give a fuck about none of you wicked ass niggas. Or you white motherfucking wicked people too. It's up. But my disgust is even more for a motherfucker that's acting like they care. You spend 30 years in that industry doing all that fuckery with them white folks, well, whoever, and screwing mainly over black artists. And they said you screwed them over. They said it, not me. They said it. Then you get hemmed up. You play the chess game with the white boys. You have your last move. You sue, you win. They played another move. You gotta have another move. You got another move. The move is get kinetic energy from innocent, righteous black Americans to back him and act like he's getting railroaded for white supremacy. That's his last move. If y'all give him that kinetic energy, that's on y'all. I ain't doing it. If he needs a fair trial though, speedy trial and fair trial. Like the evidence got to match. Like don't sit up there and try to play motherfuckers and bring 120 motherfuckers and you ain't. That mean it's a whole network. Y'all, 3 people said he was the feds. Where's the agency that he worked for? We need that paperwork because I need to know why a motherfucker's defending the feds so much. And we need that confirmation that he really was a fed. And I believe that 3 people close to him said it. And then the enterprise, the network, the level that he got, and the people that he know, and the fact that he is Scottish, right, part of their system, and Black Venetian nobility, it is not hard for me at all to believe that he has intelligence. He knows too many of the intelligence ways, as far as how they set up that MK Ultra net occult shit, and them rituals that he was doing at them parties. That's too intricate. That's not a mother. That ain't no regular ass mother. That's a trained occultist. But the ritual is too similar to the ones that they know in the intelligence. That's why I think it's all connected. I truly believe that it's all connected. And so I'm not about to sit up here and defend these motherfuckers. I just think that they also need to bring it all out though, whether the government that's involved, the white motherfuckers that's involved, the people that funded Diddy that's involved. They don't just. And my thing is, if he was to speak out or whatever, they could end it. They take the families out and everything. And that's why with me, I had a situation where when my family member said they walked away from me, from broke they off, and that shit fell on me. But I had to cut everybody off because I'll ride out to the end. I don't care. Because I didn't never join nothing. I ain't never sign up for nothing. I ain't never sign nothing. I ain't never sign over nothing. I ain't never consent to nothing. So what my family did ain't got shit to do with me. And if they try to deceive me too into doing that shit, and I caught it spiritually. My ancestors said no. They said no, it's a no. And they from the bloodline that created all this shit. Because they already know we switching this system. They switching the system. They don't have no more use for no sellout ass niggas. That's what it is, Rasul said he. They don't have no use for no sellout booty, dick in the booty niggas. They don't. They don't. Shit, this system about to fucking fall. Them rituals ain't damn working no more. Ain't no blood sacrifice rituals working no more. What the fuck they gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do? They have to switch over their whole source of the way they work with kinetic energy, the way they work with prana, the way they work with electromagnetism, the way they work with life force. They can't even fuck with them kids no more. I already told y'all. I literally told y'all a year ago that Abraxas sent all of the volunteers that wanted to come back down here, all of the kids that were sacrificed and fucked with, over all them years, the ones that went through the training, that wanted to come back for justice, that was guaranteed protection and guaranteed justice in a different change of guard. Those essences are down here. Those essences are down here. The people that got screwed over, the people that were illegally sacrificed, those energies want vengeance. Some just want justice. Some. I mean, you gotta figure. What about Tupac's family? You know, people that were good people. What, you know? So even if we're talking about people that understand the law of thermodynamics and the law of, they understand these are powerful occultists. They know Diddy was on his last wing and his contract was up. They would have just knocked him off and released him, but he wanted to do it the hard way. Contract could have been up, you get released. But no, he went to drag things out and suing and see if he can get some more money while the contract is up and get, because he would have had to get that money up anyways, or we would have been out of here. But the thing is, he knew that with them levels of crimes and that level of things that they had over his head, that they was gonna pull that out probably anyways, just like how they did with R. Kelly. That's what they do. When that contract is up, you either dead or you gotta serve your time, because they're not ready to release you because they gotta still drain that kinetic energy. That's why the deal sucks. That's why you never make a deal with the devil. It's not even worth it, especially if you're not gonna keep your hands clean and your hands to yourself. And then you got a history of a reputation of doing nothing but fucking over people. What about Tupac's family? Our prophet, when that was sent to us. What about him? With those baby ass eyes. Tupac got baby ass eyes. If you ever look at his eyes like a baby. As far as the level of innocence behind him. Even though he probably said some knucklehead shit. I ain't saying he a saint. I'm saying he got them baby ass eyes. And what about Tupac? Shit, don't nobody give a fuck about that diddy ass nigga. I don't know what the fuck y'all thought this was. And on white people, I don't know nobody get shit. They get their ass tore out the frame too. I don't know why anybody that's touching children and fucking with people and sacrificing motherfuckers and being an illegal ass bitch. You deserve whatever you get coming to you. And so I'm upset because again, we try to triangulate some shit, man. I already know that these motherfuckers had a network that they used against me to try to fuck my shit up. And that nigga is friends with that nigga that's still trying to get my community to fucking defend him. And so, yeah, how you think that make me feel, Seti? That pisses me off. To know that y'all all know what happened and y'all all know what I'm talking about is true, but y'all still got to cover for that nigga. So I'm not playing that. And so now it's death blows, spiritual death blows got to reign. Because y'all not and nobody is trying to make it right. I'm not about to just sit up there and go into obscurity when it's my motherfucking birthright, when I'm literally the chosen. Like, no, that shit, like, my body of work speaks for itself. These people still farmed around. We are the heirs to that bloodline shit, to this system, to running it. They time is motherfucking up. They time is motherfucking up, white and black. And any of those Naga serpentine motherfuckers, black motherfuckers that sold us out, they time is up. They don't inherit it. They don't inherit the new world because they sold us out and our ancestors ain't going to give it to them. Bloodline or no bloodline. Many of them do have the bloodline. Many of them are a part of the bloodline, but they fucked over the ancestors. So they don't get to inherit the new earth. Whatever we got to do to destroy that stupid system that's in place, it is what it is. But you're not about to sit up there and at your convenience and at your leisure try to hurry up and bring in white supremacy because you got caught doing some fucked up bullshit. Because your shit about to be out and they about to pull you up, but they about to pull rank on y'all and put y'all records out and show how y'all is low-key working for these and y'all agents or whatever. That's what they about to do. And again, I'm not talking about you, say I'm talking about the rest of these niggas. They about to show that y'all really a piece of shit agent. They about to throw them under the bus. They don't have no use for them. They ineffective. The community don't really trust them. It's about to get even worse come 2025 to 2027 because he had an opportunity to make it right and he was still being a bitch. And so now it's up. So I'm not feeling bad for no damn P. Diddy, but like I said, I do think he deserves a fair trial and for the evidence to match up and for things to be fair and for the whole system, the whole motherfucking shit to be exposed. The whole thing. Intelligence agencies behind it, those who knew, hospitals, anybody, doctors, whoever, police, whoever, who all knew. So don't just sit up there and put it on no one ass man. He ain't even that. Come on. Now he up there, but y'all not about to tell me he did all that shit by himself. He ain't do no 120 people like that. There's somebody gonna know about it. Why is that just now coming out? No, like that's we heard rumors. Yeah, we heard rumors. I ain't gonna hold you. we been heard shit. We been knew P. Diddy was a piece of shit ever since I was a little kid in Buffalo, New York. He was doing the proactive commercials when he had them people making them Sean John and put them working them slave wages over there in that Asian country. We've been heard about that shit 20 years ago. Y'all need to wake up. No, because y'all, I'm telling you, they about to rain blows on these motherfuckers. They ain't got no use for these niggas no more. Eddie, that's what's happening. What could a dick in the booty sell out motherfucker that nobody, that they know what they did to their community. They know they ain't got no kinetic energy. They know they fucked up. They know they fucked up. So what makes you think we give a fuck about them? Wish you the best. Wish you the best and wish you a speedy trial and a fair trial. That's all I can say. But I'm not about to sit up there and act like I'm not upset that knowing that these niggas sold our community when they could have just worked together that whole damn time. So yeah, so kinetic energy is your most powerful, valuable resource on this planet. Kinetic energy. That's your breath, that's your prana, that's your chi, that's your electromagnetic field, making sure you protect your aura, and that's your blood and your life force. That you do, your awareness that you are a fucking star, your connection to the polar creation. If you want to trade that in for some money under exploitative contracts, then you're screwed. You're screwed. We all got to work, but y'all should be pushing back on that shit. Pushing back on low wages and pushing back on your value. Making sure you get your fair due for what you work, for what you're worth. And really, that boils down to a fair system. So it's not even on, you know, the humans have to demand that their systems change for a fair balance. It's people that's working out here $20 an hour, $15 an hour, whatever. That means you're giving up your kinetic energy, standing on your feet for 9 hours a day for their corporation system. So if you're okay with that, then you can sit up there and act like I'm crazy, but you're the one that's getting played out the fuck out your ass. That's what that means. And so you keep playing that game if you want to, but y'all don't want to ascend. Okay, so then the dimensions descend upon you. Then the 125D dimension descend upon you. You ain't gonna have no choice but to change. Saturn dimensions descends upon you then, since you don't want to wake up. I'm not talking again. I'm talking to not the person listening to this. I'm talking about to the hard-headed motherfuckers who we warned since 2022 to get their shit together, that we was changing the system. And that's still giving me a hard time. That called my phone threatening me. That tried to set me up. That tried to fuck with me behind the scenes. They got plausible deniability, but the phone records say one thing. I know that NSA was, I know they was shocked hearing that shit on them conversation on them phones, unless that they cloaked them motherfucking conversations and blocked it to where they couldn't get access to it and hear what the fuck was being said on them phones. I know that they was shocked, like, whoa, I know the whoever was monitoring them phone calls from 2022 to 2024, 2023 rather, I know they was like, yo, that's why you think them whistleblowers came out talking about we got interdimensional beings playing right in our backyard. They always been here. What the fuck? And they hurried up and resigned, letting the government know at Congress testimony right after in 2023, after my little hiccup, after my little quantum entanglement, all that chief of the Pentagon resigned, talking about yeah, I think we got a problem with playing in our backyard. We have interdimensional beings playing right under our nose, and apparently the government knows about it, and we're supposed to keep it a secret. And I'm out. Fuck this. Y'all niggas, whoever was listening to that phone, I know they was just like, yo, spiritual shit is real. Yeah, so yeah, Black Americans, like damn. I think they really are them boys. Like, we screwed them over for all these years. We got to keep them in a trance, make sure they don't ever wake up. Because shit, that motherfucker woke up. We can't have them all knowing about this shit. And so that's when they went to town on my ass. Y'all play them games if y'all want. Laugh now, cry later. I can't wait. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the biggest I told you so. Because we warned you niggas. We gave y'all time after time, chance after chance to do righteous by your ancestors, do righteous by each other, and y'all still not listening. Y'all still want to be a wicked motherfucker walk with that Baphomet satanic system, be an ass kissing, soul selling ass bitch, and we tired of y'all asses. We got to get rid of you. We don't care that you black because you motherfuckers is sellouts. You ain't about to sit up there and use that black card, as they say. You ain't using that race card over here because we the real black motherfuckers. BLAQUE, primordial, nega, serpentine, seraphim, dragon, 125D, chimeras. Like, no, we really black, cosmic melanin, BLAQUE. Okay, check the gematria of that meaning. And when we say we told y'all niggas, y'all didn't listen. Y'all trying to kill me. Y'all trying to help the government set me up. Black Americans. Oh, okay. So we got to separate the chaff from the wheat. We got to separate the chaff from the. We got to. And so you niggas that was kissing Baphomet ass, sucking Baphomet's titties and dick, y'all can continue to do that shit. Don't try to act like you race conscious now. Don't try to act like you're pro conscious now. No, too late. And if you acted like you was pro black conscious and you was selling out motherfuckers, we gonna bring the hammer down harder on your ass, even harder than them boule niggas. Because at least we know that they don't give a fuck. But you try to act like you gave a fuck and you pimp the community and you use the community, so we coming down harder on your bitch motherfucking ass. Yep. 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 Be tired of you wicked ass niggas. And so what's up? So let me get my ass up off of here and remove this one because we gotta come.